Hello, everybody. Welcome. Here we are, WASD20 Live. We are playing Icewind Dale, Rhyme or Reason. Gentlemen, my friends, how are you tonight?
Doing well, man.
Yeah?
Fantastic.
Good. Staying warm.
Ready to stop hanging off the cliff, so to speak, with this owlbear fight?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it a fight. I mean, they're fighting.
Oh, that's right. We're not fighting. We're taming. We're just
Yeah,
taming.
maybe we're taming.
We're making friends.
Taming.
We probably got about one more
Kidnapping.
try before we're not taming and we're slaughtering.
I would like to say liberating.
Yes, liberating. That's
Or
a good,
food?
very positive way to phrase it. Overly positive.
From its mother. From its mother.
Good. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for those of you joining us in the chat. It's good to see you all here chatting it up, and we are going to be jumping in a second here. I want to thank our sponsor before we do that, Hero Forge. Hero Forge makes amazing tools for character creation. Go check them out at heroforge.com. They got all kinds of new stuff they're always adding so that you can design your own character just as you envision it, and even order a miniature 3D printed of your character, or get tokens like the ones you see on screen here next to these lovely gentlemen's faces, and all sorts of other stuff you can do with that tool, and they're always adding new stuff. They just had a contest. I also recommend following them on Twitter. I think it's just at Hero Forge Minis, and they just had a contest that I think they're announcing the winner for today of like design. It was a design a frog folk miniature. Who can design the best, basically?
Ironically, they just announced the winner 1 minute ago.
Did they? Well,
Awesome. And they look, and I will say this: go follow them, if for nothing else, because of how freaking amazing those frog folk ended up coming up.
Yeah, really fun tool, and so follow them. They've always got cool stuff. It seems like last time we streamed, they had a contest too, or a drawing of some kind where you can win some stuff. So, Hero Forge is a great company for me to work with, and they have some really cool tools. So check them out. The other thing I wanted to note is that during a break today, I'm going to be rolling to see which of my patrons will be winning these GM dressing dice. So, yeah.
Those dice are okay.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
They're pretty great.
They're no Darksea Workshop dice, but
No, they're pretty nice. They're nice dice.
they're a totally different market, to be fair.
How do they work, if you don't mind me asking?
So they're basically like, have you ever seen Rory's Story Cubes?
I think actually I have.
They're basically like D&D themed story cubes.
Okay.
So you have little, things you can roll for different environments. Like this one right here is a tavern, and it's got like a gaming board and a bear rug and a lantern and some barrels. And so, you can roll when you go into a dungeon room and see what you might find there, or you can use them in your planning as some kind of a source of inspiration.
Cool.
Planning, improv, whatever you want.
As a beginner, I'm trying to learn the DMing thing, and that's really respect to like anybody that DMs, both like Nikos and like Nate. Like, wow, those would help somebody like me. Like, no joke.
Well, you know what, Will? If ever the mood strikes you, you can always make a D6 that just has illithids on all the sides, and then just like sneak that into the set.
Your chance of being eaten by illithids is 100%.
Just a brain with some tentacles around it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Lovely. All right. So stay tuned for the break for that. But yeah, we are going to jump right in here. I'm not going to waste too much time. We left last time. Our adventuring party was on their way to Easthaven, and I think you guys had at least discussed stopping at Caer Dineval as well, because there was a certain chef there. But the eventual goal, I think, is Easthaven, coming from Caer Konig, which many of you can see just a little bit north of the red dot there on our map. And we had, you all had defeated a Dwargar threat in a stronghold north of Caer Konig, sort of an outpost, and had retrieved a note of ill tidings, we'll say, of more sinister goings-on with the Dwargar, and including one of them holed up in Easthaven, and some sort of message of impending doom for the folk of Icewind Dale. So, our adventuring party has taken it upon themselves to investigate further. Along the way to Caer-Dineval, they met with an owlbear and her cubs, and one of the cubs is currently in a net. Nikos would never do that. Let me get the map up here. So one of them is, where's Owlbear Rodeo? There we go.
Got one.
Okay. One of them is currently in a net, and that would be right about here. I did make some little mini owlbears there, and there's also an Axebeak, thanks to Michael for making me some Axebeak tokens last time. And I also made this. I'm kind of proud of this, guys. Let me show you my jerky token. That's the rations that that Ryan threw out there. I was like, you know what? There's been some ration throwing. We need some ration tokens. So there we go.
You know you're going to use that more than once. There's going to be plenty of jerky flying around.
It took me a while to find the right jerky that didn't just look like a pile of poop.
Okay.
We've already got the let's see, oil slick token, which looks moderately like poop. So I couldn't have two poop tokens.
Okay.
So if we looked at your browser history right now, it would just be nothing but pictures of jerky.
Yeah, there's a lot of pictures of jerky. Yeah. It's true. It took me a while, surprisingly long. These are the things that like DMs waste time on, and there's more important things. But here I am sitting for 20 minutes trying to find just the perfect jerky token.
Well, you know what? The usual Australian quota for the day. Have you looked up crocodile jerky?
I have not.
I think crocodile jerky is the most jerky-looking jerky that you're ever going to look at, and it's white meat. So
the most jerky-looking jerky you're ever going to jerky.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. The most jerkiest jerky.
You thought you'd gone far enough on Google image search. You thought you'd seen everything the internet had to offer, but you hadn't gone far enough because you haven't seen crocodile jerky.
Yeah, apparently not. Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind for next time. Perhaps that will be some sort of large beast jerky that you guys will make yourselves. Who knows? By the way, if you in the chat could just let us know how our levels are sounding in terms of me versus players, that would be great. But we're going to jump right in here, and I'm just going to start at the top of our initiative order from last time, which was Clay, then Fizwick, then Gruckvar, then Nikos, then the Owlbear. Now, the party had tried to tame the Owlbear. Fizwick had actually ridden it for a moment before it kind of took off a little too fast and bucked him. Ran off in a direction. Now it ran off after one of its young, which you guys still don't see that one. It is, but it took off to the northeast here. And the other cub is in Nikos's net, as noted. The Owlbear came back and was pissed and began to attack. And I think it got two pretty good hits on Fizwick. So Fizwick's probably
down to 13 hit points.
There you go. So not doing the greatest.
I want to give it one more chance. If you guys want to go with this, I want to see this through.
Yep, and I'll just throw this out there.
That's all that's left in me.
I talked to Will last time just about, and I actually talked to some of my patrons too, and just like, I don't know, can you tame an Owlbear? Like, is this doable? How does this work? Because I was honestly kind of fumbling last time, even though I knew that Will wanted to do this. I was kind of like floundering a bit, like, yeah. So I'll say this. You have one young in your custody currently. Might not stay there, but you do. And I'll say, I mentioned this to Will, you could always deal, remember, non-lethal damage and perhaps subdue the mama Owlbear in that way. So I'll just throw that out there. But anyway. All right. Any other questions about where we are here, guys? So right. Excellent. Clay, it is your turn. You are right south here with the red token. What would you like to do?
So, Fizwick, are you signaling to the group that you want to continue doing this, or are you sort of making up your mind right now?
Yeah.
In a pile on the ground.
Yeah, if if Fizwick could, he would be sitting with like that Jurassic Park where Chris Pratt was like holding but he would be like holding you guys back. Like he just wants to give it one more go. He's willing to risk his life to like tame this owlbear.
Okay.
So he's just gonna he's all in. Unless he hears anybody shout or anything, otherwise like convinces him to like not do it.
Okay. Then I am just going to
You could hold an action too. I'll just throw that out
yeah,
there.
that's what I'm thinking. All right, I'm gonna pull one axe and ready it for throwing, and I'm gonna step back like 5 feet to just sort of make it clear that, okay, this is your show, man.
All right. That is Clay's turn. Fizwick, it's all you. The owlbear has, I don't remember if it bit or clawed you, probably one of each. And you are, it seems pissed. What are you going to do?
Fizwick kind of starts scratching at the ground and making a weird kind of... And he wants to try to like just... The Dundee's not working. He wants to try to like a little bit more aggression here to get it, you know, calm down a little bit. And he throws out some rations with it.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make an animal handling check once again.
We also need more ration tokens.
We do
Nate?
need more rations. I think they should be a little bit smaller, but yes, let's throw some rations out here. Thank you.
12.
Okay. All right, you do the thing you described, and it is not the owlbear's turn yet, so I won't say anything else.
By my rolls, man.
All right. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn, Nikos? I mean, sorry, Fizwick?
I'm gonna go ahead and gonna use my extra bonus action because I'm not convinced it's with me yet. I'm gonna dash a little bit.
So disengage, you mean?
Yeah, disengage.
Yeah. So you can move up to 30 feet, which would be 5 squares, or 25 feet rather, 5 squares.
Maybe it will get Clay now.
What I get for letting you do your thing.
Okay. And Clay, what exactly, if you could just tell me, maybe you said this, sorry, but what would cause your action to trigger? Your
It would be purely protective. So
of
unless
anyone in the party?
yeah, or myself. I mean, unless somebody is immediately in danger, I'm not going to interfere with Mama Bear because we technically did just steal her child.
Yep. All right.
When I say we, I mean one person in particular.
I know you're saying that like it's supposed to be a bad thing, but I'm actually really proud of myself.
Isn't that worth like 500 gold?
I mean, Fizwick would probably know that, yeah, like an owlbear
It's
could
pretty
be worth,
pricey.
we'll just say several hundred gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I realize that one cub is with Nikos. Where's the other one?
You do not see it. It was, it ran off northeast, kind of off that corner of the map, and now you didn't see it come back, but all you saw come back was the mama.
Okay. Sorry, it's my turn. Or whose-
That's a good question. I don't know whose turn it is.
I think
It
I
is
think so.
Gruckvar's,
Given
yes.
okay. I want to. And I've just seen Fizzy attempt something and then scramble away. Right? I've just seen run away, and he's not really communicating anything other verbally to any of us. Right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. I am going to lift high my holy symbol and make a gesture over my own eyes, and I'm going to try and cast blindness on this owlbear.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. How does that work? Do I have to make a save?
Okay, so yeah, you have to make a Constitution saving throw
I'm gonna piss it off.
of 13 or higher.
Well, I rolled a 1, so there's that. All right. Blindness. So how many rounds am I blinded for, or how does that work?
You are blinded for 1 round, and then you'll make another saving throw at the start of your next round.
Okay. Yep. So, would he? Yeah. So I think he would make or she would.
Or rather, at the end of your turn, you make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
So that you've made the one for this one.
Okay. Yep. All right. So that brings us. Anything else you'd like to do, Krokvar?
I would like to run over with my axe beak over here, all the way over to Fizzy and Clay.
Okay.
And also, now that I've done that, can I tell that the owlbear is blind? Does it look like it's blind?
Yeah, I mean, you could probably see it kind of shake its head a little bit
Okay.
in like confusion. Yep.
I've blinded it. We have a matter of seconds. Could shake it off at any time.
All right. Awesome. Next up, we have Nikos.
All right, so Nikos still riding Peppermint, his beloved Axebeak, and straddling the metal net with the owlbear cub by his side. I want to kind of try and attach the net to the saddle that normally has like the strut, just so that I can kind of have the Axebeak take most of the weight rather than me. I want to climb up onto this wooden fallen tree here, and I've made a decent amount of distance, and I don't want to abandon the others, but I want to, more importantly, look around and see if I can see that other owlbear cub.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception. Okay, that's a 17.
Okay. You sense a little bit of movement from behind this tree over here. That's about it. You don't see anything
Alright.
distinct, but you see something move behind that tree.
All right, following a wide arc, I'm going to start making my way towards that tree.
Okay. Yeah, so you can go ahead and move your move your 3 tokens. It's an arduous task, but you're up to it.
I'm feeling it. Okay, so that is, what is an Axebeak's move speed?
Axebeak's move speed is, I pulled it up here, but okay, 50 feet. Not bad.
All right, so I will move to there as a move action. And they don't have a dash ability or anything like that, so I'll just leave them there, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
They can't dash.
You know,
Is that
I'm not
just
sure.
a-
How does that work with creatures?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, just as mounts go, like, if I can use the dash action, obviously I will, but if obviously it being a mount, there's a certain amount of control that I need to maintain it
I
that
would
would
say-
otherwise be.
Yeah, I think probably normally maybe you could, like make an animal handling check to see if you could do it. But I think on this particular turn, since you like stood up on the tree for a moment to try to get a better view, that maybe was your action.
Yeah,
and this is your move.
Happy
So
for that.
Wait, doesn't one of us still have an animal handling potion or something? A scroll?
I do.
Okay.
Scroll of Animal Friendship is on my person.
I think I do too. Didn't you throw into somebody?
I think there might have been 2, but I'm not totally sure.
That's what I thought. But
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Check your inventories on that, guys. But in the meantime, I'll tell you what the owlbear does. The owlbear is going to. It has spotted its. Well, no, it hasn't. It had spotted its young, and now it is thoroughly confused. So what it will probably do, honestly, is. Let's see, move speed. 40 feet, I believe. Yep. Okay. So. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there we go. The owlbear is running in that direction, and stumbling a little bit, we'll say. Yep. All right, and now that's the end of its turn, so I'm gonna make that save. Or would I not make that save since it's already this round?
No, I think you can.
Okay, just at the end of its turn.
Yeah.
Okay, it rolled an 18, so that's gonna make it, but it's gonna end its turn there.
How would I
Okay.
get here?
It is now Clay's turn.
Okay. Would I have seen, or would we have seen that it got its vision back?
You probably can't really tell. Yeah, maybe you can sense an alertness that it kind of whips its head around and actually spots one of you.
I imagine when it's blinded, it's doing that classic animal thing of it's batting at its own eyes, its own muzzle.
Yeah,
That's how I picture it.
sure. I like that.
Okay. So. So seeing Nikos go around to the back.
This is easily the hardest fight we've ever had because it's like we're trying to control this wild beast.
It's
Not-
like monkey in the middle, but it's owlbear in the middle.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna motion to the other two next to me and just like, and then start like, I'm gonna creep around to the back here. I'm gonna like try to get behind the owlbear, maybe so he can't see where we're headed. And then just kind of like beckon the other two to come this way.
Very good. All right. Why don't you go ahead and roll a stealth check if you're trying to be sneaky?
That's not great. 17.
Okay. Great. Fizwick, it is your turn.
Fizwick is now wondering if he should set up a distraction for when the owlbear comes to life, or if he should jump on that Axbeak with Gruckvar, and we should try to get the other out. What are you guys feeling like? I can keep
Gruckvar is beckoning you up on the
Yeah.
Axbeak. Yeah.
So Nate, could I cast oh man, I was trying to make a distraction for it. Like, how long does that blindness last?
It's gone. He shook it off. Or she shook it off.
Okay, so Fizwick's gonna like jump on the Axbeak with Gruckvar. He's bailing now. This isn't happening.
All right. You managed to do so. Is there anything else you want to do? Ready any action or anything?
I'm gonna ready an action, yeah, for a bonfire. In case it comes at us, I'm gonna do it right in front of it, and
Okay. Yep. So if it moves towards you, you'll try to block its path.
and Fizwick, like as he's climbing up, he looks over to Clay and get the baby, and he's just looking around to see if Nikos hears him or anything, and anybody can hear him.
Yeah. All right. Very good. That would bring us to Gruckvar, and after that we will go to Nikos. Gruckvar, what
Okay.
would you like to do?
Now that I've got Fizzy on the back of the Axbeak with me, I would like to dash as fast as I can, just straight out in this direction, towards basically off the map. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, you could absolutely do that. Yep.
That's what I want to do. It's what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically just put us in this corner.
Okay. Yep. All right. And anything else you'd like to do?
I would like to ready an action, and if the owlbear gets within, let's see here, within 40 feet, I want to shoot it with a crossbow.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, that brings us to Nikos.
All right, so Nikos can hear Fizwick shouting to the south about the baby, but can't see where the tiny goblin has gotten to. I will, however, continue to move Peppermint around around to where I think or I believe it happens to be. It's kind of cool that I can pick up the bottommost token and it actually moves all three. But if I
Oh,
move like
that's
one,
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Oh, okay,
that's some cool physics right there.
That's
I
a
like
time
that.
saver. That's a time saver. That's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
help.
Feel
So
strong.
okay, so I'm gonna move to there with my first action.
Yep.
Can I see any owlbear babies?
Yep, in the shade of this tree, well, not the shade, there's no sun, but anyway, beneath this tree, you do see one of the owlbear cubs kind of huddled in there, just kind of tucked up against the trunk, and it kind of, as it sees you moving up, it's seeming to, like, do the, oh, which way do I go? Because it's got Clay on one side and you on the other, and it's kind of just hugging the trunk.
Metal net.
All right, yeah, and you still have your action, right? So you could do that?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and let's just go ahead and I don't know, how do you want to do this? How did you do it last time? I can't remember. Did we just do that
I want to just
dexterity?
succeed automatically. No. Yeah, because it would be a ranged attack without proficiency because I'm not net proficient, as it were.
Yep.
So that is a 15 in total as
Okay.
I throw the
Yeah.
net down.
And I'm gonna say that's enough to hit.
Guys,
So you have a net on this owlbear.
Nice. And with my bonus action, if I can, I'm going to, on the opposite side to where the other owlbear is, I'm going to tie it onto the saddle so Peppermint's kind of now balanced a little bit better.
Yeah, and they're not super small. They're probably the size of like a golden retriever. So
Yeah.
you know, it's
Definitely a lot
doable,
heavier.
but definitely like the axe beak is feeling it. All right.
Oh, why didn't I take bull strength?
All right. Next up, that brings us to the owlbears, and the owlbear mama is definitely going to be splitting right for Nikos. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it can dash to you, but it cannot take an action. Okay. So that is gonna end the owlbear's turn, and now that brings us to Fizwick. No, I'm sorry, Clay. Clay's up
Okay.
top.
Don't forget Clay.
I have before.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty small, so it's. I mean, okay.
Giant blue guy, easy to miss.
So, I'm gonna just stand there, kind of befuddled for a second, and just like look at half my party who just bolted away from me, and the other half who is now stuck behind a giant owlbear who sort of got himself into this mess. And then I'm just gonna and then head this way, and actually, let me see here. Can I do like half my movement and then like as my action, like take out my whip and crack it, and then like yell for the owlbear, like, "Hey, come over here, over here."
Yeah, you do so, and it definitely just turns and takes note of you. All of a sudden, momentarily distracted. Anything else you'd like to do?
It's just distracted. It's not. It doesn't look interested in me.
It just turns its head towards you, and it doesn't. I mean, yeah, you don't get the feeling like it's about to lunge at you or anything like that. No.
Okay. No, that's all I'm gonna do, I think, for right now.
All right. Very good. That brings us to Fizwick.
Fizwick is going to jump off of the thingamajig.
Axe beak. Yep.
Yep. Is that an action, just getting off of it?
We'll say it's like maybe half your movement.
Okay. Oh man. You had to go in the corner, didn't you?
Well, I was trying to split us up intentionally so that the owlbear wouldn't know where to go, but now that one of us has two of their cubs, it does.
Highly motivated.
Yeah.
Fizwick is going to try to, oh man, 80 feet away. Can I shoot it with my bow?
Can Grugvar speak even though it's not his turn?
Yeah, I would say that you could say something quickly.
You stay here. I'll get Clay.
I think I'm either in range or can I get any closer? It's 80 feet. I can shoot.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely move up another, we'll just say 4 squares.
Okay, so
You might be able to fire off an arrow or something, but then you just would get disadvantage or something along those lines. I don't know what your range is.
Here is the, yeah, so you could definitely,
Whoa.
you could definitely do it. Yep.
yeah, we're not gonna be able to run away from this thing. So I'm gonna move up.
Please don't put it through my back.
Don't get a 1, in other words.
May I take a shot at him?
You may.
Okay, here we go. Man, 12?
12. Well, it would help if I had the armor class handy, wouldn't it? That is not enough to hit. So close. All right. Anything else you'd like to do?
I
You
haven't.
could move further with your dash as a bonus action
Yeah,
if you'd
I'm
like
gonna
to.
use the bonus action.
Okay, so you can move another 25 feet. So 5 squares.
Okay. You can slowly hear a bunch of like minuscule like curses coming up behind you, Clay.
And as you get closer, you see your arrow like is lodged right in the snow, like just right in front of the owlbear. Very close. All right. Next up, that brings us to Grugvar. Then Nikos.
Grugvar grumbles, I just extracted him. And I am going
Can't say,
to...
he's like a toddler. He just doesn't stay put.
I'm going to move as far as I can with normal speed. Let's see, 1,
So
2,
on an axe beak, I think they have 50.
Right?
Yep,
5,
so that would be
6,
10 squares.
7, 8, 9, 10. I run right past him again. And then I'm going to...
Can you like bap him on the back of the head as you go past?
I give him just a little tap. Just a
Or
little
get
pat.
one of those. We should get one of those, like a magic leash, like one of those toddler ones with the straps, and then it's like got the
Harness.
retractable.
Oh yeah, it looks like
the
the
retractable harness.
with the cute little monkey backpack. Looks like it's a little monkey's hugging him, a little stuffed monkey's hugging him,
Yeah.
but it's also got a leash on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
As Fizwick gets
okay.
hit by Grugvar going by him, he makes a little sharp nail mark on his arm, making a sharp scar
Ah!
because he's been hit 3 times now by his friends. 3 times.
And yet he's not learned.
I think you used that word a bit strongly too.
All right. And while I'm riding, I'm getting a hold of my sacred object here and sort of adjusting my shield, and I cast Guiding Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
It's 24 to hit.
All right, that is a hit.
That causes 15 points of radiant damage.
Oof. All right.
And the next attack on the owlbear will hit with advantage. Will be with advantage.
Okay. Great. All right. So yeah, the owlbear, kind of just growls in pain as this searing bolt slams into its side, and once again, its attention is diverted from its young just for a split second, but its focus is right back there, just as soon as it hits. All right. Next up, let's bring it to Nikos.
Right. I would like to disengage this large, scary creature, and flee as fast as I can to the north. I will probably yell out something like, "If we get separated, meet in East." Well, are we heading to Easthaven first, or is that do we have a halfway place?
Where's the
feel like there
where's
was
the
a half.
chef?
So Caer Dineval is the
Caer
town
Dineval.
just to the south of you. It's a very small town.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll yell out, if we get separated, head to Caer Dineval. I'll meet you there. And I will disengage and start heading to the north. Now, I want to know as a bonus action. Now, I feel kind of bad, Nate. I feel kind of bad because I kind of prepared for this, and
Just go.
I didn't want to steal this mama's babies, but I did.
You're not really from Australia, are you?
I'm gonna drop some caltrops
Mm-hmm.
as I'm running away,
Sure.
and in my
This is
next
turning
round,
into something ridiculous.
and in my next round, I want to pull out some of my bear traps.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you manage to disengage, and I'll say you can flee. And while the axe bear is galloping, you can throw some caltrops behind you on this turn, and then the
Sweet.
bear traps would be next.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that is what I will do.
Okay. And I guess I'm gonna make. I think the Axebeak has a speed of 50 feet, which is 10 more than the Owlbear, but it is pretty heavily burdened with 2 young owlbears and you. So I think what I might do is have you roll a strength check for the owl or for the Axebeak to see if this hinders it at all. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say the Axebeak's strength modifier is 2. So I'm just gonna say, let's do it straight up 12. You have to get.
Okay.
See how quickly it's able to move.
I rolled a 12.
Okay. So it is unhindered this turn. All right. Okay. Very good. So I'm just gonna say Nikos and the rest are. Oh, see, it's not working for me. How did Nikos do that? Michael, share your secrets with me.
Well, you move the token onto the top, so you need to get the lowermost token.
Yep.
So grab, and then lift it. Oh,
What the deuce? Anyway,
I don't know. Even I'm moving it perfectly fine.
well, I'm gonna let you do it.
All right.
And yeah.
I'll
So
go over
anyway, they're off of there now, and we get it. All right. Very good. The Owlbear is going to pursue, and it's going to be about 10 feet behind you. Okay, and so we'll just kind of theater of the mind the chase from here on out, and let's see what the rest of the party would like to do. But the Owlbear is giving chase.
Does it step on my caltrops?
Yes, it does. I'm gonna go ahead and roll. Yeah. So caltrops. What effect would that have? Pain, damage.
Ideally a little bit of
Hilarious
pain and
moment of ow, 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 ow,
Yep.
ow.
and ideally slowing people down. But
Yep.
might not necessarily do that. Let's have a look.
I just-
caltrops.
Yeah. I just looked it up.
Yeah, now it is an action to drop it, which I obviously wouldn't have the action to do if I was disengaging. But the DC is a 15 dexterity saving throw to stop moving and taking 1 piercing damage. But given I didn't take an action to drop them, I mean, I'd be happy for an alternate effect. Oh, and then its walk speed is reduced by 10 foot.
Okay.
Creature moving through an area of caltrops is at half speed and does not need to make a saving throw.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it because actually now that I think about it, the Owlbear would have dashed and would have gotten to you. But I'm just gonna say that it's we'll just say it slows it down enough where it is indeed 10 feet behind you. It is not gonna be able to catch you. Yep.
Sweet.
All right. We'll play it that way this time. Very good. That brings us next to Clay.
Okay. So Clay is standing there, and all of a sudden he hears, and he looks down next to him, and there's an arrow that flies past him. He looks up to his shoulder, and there's a spell that shoots past him. He's like, "Come on, what are you doing?" And then he's gonna run around here and try to catch sight of the owlbear as he's taking off. And if he's close enough, if she's close enough, I'm going to throw one of my axes at her as she's leaving?
Yeah, so she would be. It would be more than 25 feet for sure.
Oh, that was probably about half my movement because I have 30.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
and I'm just gonna drag this.
Like, can I guess come around here more, but
Yeah, I think if you were, I mean, I think it's gonna be a little too far, but you could throw with disadvantage. One of your axes.
okay. Like, it's clearly leaving faster than any one of us could catch up to it.
Yes.
Okay. All right, then I'm just gonna slow to sort of frustrated walk and stop, and I guess just watch it go, because there's no hope of hitting it or catching it. So
He's just in the middle of all this.
somehow I got stuck looking like the idiot running back and forth.
He's trying so hard too.
And then I'm gonna stand there with my hands on my hips, grumbling and waiting for the rest of the party.
Nice. All right.
Meanwhile, on an axe beak further down, Nikos away!
All right. Let's go ahead and see how this goes for Fizwick.
Wait, it's gone, isn't it?
Yeah, the owlbear, you've seen it howl in pain as it marches over these caltrops, and it now is running off.
Fizwick's gonna jump back on the Grekvar wagon and
Yep.
see if he can ready a spell as well.
Sure, yeah.
He's just gonna ready bonfire just in case something pops up.
Okay. Yep. All right. Good deal. Let's go to Nikos. I'm sorry, Grekvar.
Okay, I am going to now see if it works for me. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to dash all the way over here to Clay. And let's get out of here.
All right. Yeah, so you guys managed to, well, yeah, you managed to get up there. Anything else you'd like to do?
I just want us to depart.
Do you want to follow Nikos, or do you want to depart back to the road?
And I can't see Nikos and I can't see the owlbear?
You can see them. Yeah, you can definitely see them. Especially with dark vision. And they're probably a good 40 feet ahead. 45.
You know what? I'm going to look down at Clay and I just say, never mind. And I'm going to turn this axe beak around and I'm going to head out to follow that action. I'm going to follow the owlbear and Nikos.
Okay.
Oh,
Yep. So we're just going to run the rest of this kind of theater of the mind, and I'll just kind of tell you guys about how far here. I just pulled up the chase rules, which I have not really read in a very long time. So let's see how this works. During the chase, participant can freely use the dash action any number of times equal to 3 plus its Constitution modifier. Each additional dash action it takes during the chase requires the creature to succeed on a DC 10 Constitution check at the end of its turn or gain 1 level of exhaustion. Participant drops out of the chase if exhaustion reaches level 5, since its speed becomes 0. A creature can remove the levels of exhaustion it gained during the chase by finishing a short or long rest. Okay, so this could lead to exhaustion. All right. So the owlbear is currently 10 feet behind Nikos, and so everyone, let's just see your Constitution modifier. So the Constitution of an axe beak, first of all. The Constitution of an axe beak is
12.
+1. Yeah.
Yep.
So it can make that check. And the Constitution of an owlbear, unfortunately, is +3. Ooh. The okay, so 3 plus its con modifier. Okay. So the way I'm reading this, it is an eventuality that the Owlbear will, well, not necessarily. 3 plus its con modifier. Yeah. It will catch up with you, Nikos. Is kind of what we're getting at here.
Okay. I do have a couple of tricks that aren't endurance based that might suffice.
Yep. Sure.
I have the command spell, which I can use as I did previously.
Yeah.
Plus, I have the battery of bear traps that I still have on my person. Now, traditionally, the bear traps read as if they need to be anchored to something, but rather than being anchored to something, if I were to say drop the bear traps for it to step on or engage, would they hinder its movement if I did that, or would they just simply be sort of torn asunder after snapping shut?
I think that, we could certainly use the bear traps, and I think it would probably, however, be a pretty easy DC for the bear or for the owlbear to avoid, just because they're big chunks of metal, and yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to absolutely have the owlbear make those checks. If you want to throw out, just let me know how many you would like to use, and we'll say the DC to avoid them is probably going to be something like a 7. It's going to be pretty easy.
Sure. First of all, I'll try the command spell, and then failing that, I will jettison all 5 bear traps, both as a means of trying to slow it down and to reduce the weight on my on the axe beak.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. So, command spell. Now I have in total 3 regulars and one from my race, like a once per day thingy. So I've got 4 in total.
Okay.
I'm going to start with my race one, because that one has a slightly higher DC. No, actually, no, it doesn't. It has it has a lower DC. What am I even using that for? Never mind. I'm going to use my regular spell one.
Yep. Go for it.
All right, so that is 15 is the DC on a wisdom saving throw.
Alrighty. It fails. What are you commanding?
I'm going to command it to flee.
Okay.
And I'm going to sort of see which direction it flees in and just sort of go in the opposite.
No, it's going to flee towards me.
So I know we did this before, but my only question is, does the command spell work on an animal that doesn't speak the same language? You know what I mean?
Oh yes, no, that's right. Let me check this. Creature you can see within range, target must succeed in the woodsman, follow the command, spell has no effect. Given I'm telepathic, can I give it the imagery and stuff? As in, basically, it says if the target can't follow your command, the spell ends, which could very well be interpreted if, because it also says if it has no effect if it's undead or if it doesn't understand the language. But if I implant into its mind fear and, survival of, when you're facing off with a predator, that feeling of retreating.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think that could work. I am, however, going to give it advantage, so I'm just going to give it one more roll. It rolled a 5 on the first one, and it rolled a 6 on the second one. Or is that a 9? Yeah, that is a 6. So, it kind of, looks at you confusedly, and as it's kind of just running, howling, growling, and all of a sudden stops, and you see this of snow kind of hitting the brakes as it this puff of snow, and it just kind of twitches a little bit, and then it takes off in a different direction.
All right, I will take off in the diametrically opposed direction.
All right. And that lasts 1 minute or something, or is it one round?
It's an immediate, so it's 1 round.
Okay. Yep. So, boy, this is so complicated.
Sorry.
No, this is good. Because now it's gonna. But
So real quick, I can see there we have Lac Dinishers.
Yep,
Lac
Lac
Dinishire?
Dinishire. Yep, Lac Dinishire.
Okay. And that would be a frozen lake, right? Or
Yeah.
a frozen. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna make my way towards that, if
Okay.
possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys are, let's just see, pull up a bigger version of the map here. Yeah, I mean, it's probably maybe 5 minutes away at most, I would say, to the lake. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Next up, we have Fizwick, Gruckvar. You guys are on the same Axebeak. Are you going to use your turn to continue the chase?
What do we see? Do we see the owlbear turn towards us? Is he? I mean, we can probably see Nico's running away, but do we see the owlbear turn towards us, or is he like head in a separate direction from those two different parties?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would probably turn right back toward you guys. Yeah, and it's still under the command technically, but
Yeah, but it's gonna remember Fizwick for sure.
yeah. So it's
Why?
We'll say it uses its turn, and it's probably about 10 feet from you.
I mean, I think the answer to Ryan's question, because Fizwick was riding it like 6 seconds ago.
No, 26.
Yeah, maybe 24 seconds ago. Yeah.
All right, so yes, the owlbear is running back towards you under the command of Nikos' spell. You probably saw the spell, and you probably know you've seen Nikos do it before, just mere minutes ago. So
Okay. So I have a general idea of what's going on here in terms of what Nikos did. And I just turn to Fizwick and say, I'm going to keep our distance as best I can here. And what's your plan, Fizwick?
Well, he just told you to get the F out of here.
Oh, okay. Oh, and I do speak Goblin, so we can communicate.
Yeah, it was jumbled. He said it for.
Okay, I caught. Let's just say I caught that. All right.
Yeah, it was a clever way of bleeping it.
Are we within range? I want to fire a shot at the owlbear. Are we within range of it?
yeah, you're definitely in range.
Okay.
I can also use bonfires.
Wait. Oh, so sorry. Is this Fizwick's turn or my turn?
It is. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I guess it is Fizwick's turn technically.
Oh,
You guys run the same
let's-
owlbear, but if we're not giving chase anymore because it's now coming back your way, then we're back into
Fizwick-
regular initiative.
Fizwick's gonna go ahead and then chant his little smoking meat, bring the heat, and he just casts his bonfire
Yep.
in front of the owlbear.
Yeah, it definitely, kind of dodges to the side, and you guys are able to probably separate yourselves by a distance of more like 20 feet now. Yeah, I'm just looking up. The bonfire spell, you can't cast it on a creature per se, can you?
Yeah, I guess if it was occupying the space.
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, so it must succeed on a dexterity saving throw.
I just want to do it right in front of it, not on it though.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say if your intended effect is to create more space or to have a void coming towards you,
absolutely.
it definitely creates more space. You're now more like 20 or 30 feet away from it.
Yep. Cool.
All right. That brings us to Gruckvar.
I see what Fizwick has done, and I sort of turn my head slightly so I can talk to him and say, "We can't leave Clay out here; it'll kill him."
Who?
Clay, your good friend.
Again, that F word. I think we're misusing it. I don't think we're using it the right way.
I'm gonna fire a bolt at the owlbear.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, it's 19 to hit.
All right, that hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Wow. 2 points of piercing damage.
Okay, 2 points of piercing damage.
Something, I guess.
All right, it is.
It
All right.
removes 2 feathers from the owlbear's head.
All right, Nikos, you are out on the lake. Well, getting towards the lake, we'll say. You hear the sounds of, a skirmish behind you. Maybe you see a flash of light from the bonfire and the firebolt. And, nice. And you now, are you going to continue your route toward the lake?
Yeah, I'll sort of. That's okay. The mother will likely follow the scent. I need to shake her permanently. I cannot lead the giant creature to Kedinaval. What my plan is I've got a multi-layered plan here. I want to go over to Lake Dinishia. And what I want to do while I'm there is I want to cross a narrow part of it in order to mount the Axebeak cubs to a tree. Then I want to set the bear traps around the tree, anchoring them. And I then want to tie the Axebeak away from this particular spot. I want to use my snow shape, and I know this is a lot of stuff, but this is just this is the plan.
Yeah, totally.
I want to use my shape snow spell to thin the ice just on the banks near where that tree is, but deep enough so that the creature would submerge. And I want to conceal myself to burst out if and when it falls through the ice to once again freeze the area over the owlbear.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So at this point, you are. I'll say maybe in one more turn, you could be at a spot where you could do this, but you're
Cool.
not there.
So yeah, that's the plan. So that is where I'm heading. I'm just kind of surveying the landscape, going, I hope they're not intending to fight that damn thing. It's going to tear them limb from limb.
All right. Next up.
But oh well.
The owlbear. So the owlbear has just, had this flash of fire. It's had the command spell. It is feeling threatened, and it is going to go for Fizwick and Gruckvar. It's actually probably going to go for the Axebeak first, unable to really distinguish maybe between this lump of fire, this fire-breathing, strange three-headed fire-breathing creature.
How far away from all of this am I?
I would say that you could probably get there in one turn's movement. So, we'll say if your speed is 30 feet, it's about 30 feet away from you.
Okay, so I can definitely see it clearly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Yep. All right, so it is going to attack the Axebeak twice. And neither of those are going to hit. Man. Wait, does a 13 hit an Axebeak? Actually, wait. I think it does.
Oof.
Yes, it does. So one of them will hit the Axebeak, and that is going to be 1d10 plus 4.
That is now canon for Owl.
Yeah.
So-
Take that,
An
Siren Scape.
The Axebeak takes 6 damage.
Oh, it's not too different.
That was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, you guys should be hired. All right. Cool. Or not. Next up, that brings us to Clay, back at the top of the order.
Okay.
So you've just seen the owlbear attack the Axebeak that Gruckvar and Fizwick are on.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I guess I'm going to rush up to that scene of ridiculousness. And I'm going to, for my action, I'm going to use Call to the Wave and create a sphere of ice and hurl it at the face of the Axebeak.
The Axebeak or the owlbear?
Owlbear.
Okay.
I'm just going to put the Axebeak out of its misery.
What are the feather things?
We're still on here, Clay. We're still on here.
This is why Nikos left us.
This is why we can't have nice things. All right, so go ahead and do you have to make a roll for that, or is it a save on the part of the owlbear?
That is a good question. I would imagine it would be something like...
Should we treat it like an ice bolt spell or something?
Yeah, it's probably something like use an object. So I would say it's probably... It doesn't have a... I mean, there's no damage for ice chunk, I don't think.
Okay, how about this? How about the next? Yeah, I'll just roll the d4. We'll say, and then for the damage, and we'll say, and you can go ahead and maybe make your normal attack roll, and then yeah, if it hits, it takes a d4, and maybe we'll say it gets disadvantage on its next attack.
23 to hit.
Okay, that's definitely a hit, and I rolled a 3 for the damage. And now, yeah, it gets disadvantage on the attack. I should have let you roll, sorry. But anyway.
Oh, it's okay.
All right. Very good. That brings us to Fizwick and Gruck. Fizwick is next. You're on top of the axe beak. The axe beak has just been gouged into by this huge owlbear claw. And what would you like to do?
Can I cast Bonfire again?
Absolutely. Do you want to cast it on the owlbear, or what do you think?
Directly on it this time.
Yep.
And he says something you can hear, just, "You son of a bitch!" And he just casts his bonfire.
All right.
I'm actually pretty good at bleeping it without saying it. I am pretty.
You're speaking
Yeah.
Goblin really well. All right, so now I'm going to say the owlbear gets to make a dexterity saving throw or take 1d8 fire damage. Ooh, he makes it. So he just kind of sidesteps the bonfire here, and now he's face to face with the axe beak. Anything else you'd like to do, Fizwick?
Set my pucker factor to 10.
All right.
And
You're gonna kiss it?
Fizwick is actually going to try to jump off and roll off into the snow, try to hide.
Okay.
As a bonus action.
Yeah, so probably your best bet would be to roll off the back of the axe beak, and I will let you do that. And go ahead and make a stealth check.
I'm just gonna do a little goblin swan dive. Just on.
19.
Nice. All right. You are in the snow, we'll say. And that brings us to Bruckvar.
Bruckvar sees Fizwick depart, stands up on this ailing axebeak, and mumbles a spell as he touches the head of his warhammer to create Searing Smite. That's a bonus action. So for my actual action, I would like to leap off of the axebeak onto the owlbear with my hammer aloft and do an overhead slam.
Okay. Excellent.
I'm going to use 2 hands here to do that.
Yeah, bring on that Searing Smite.
Okay.
Let's do this.
That's 16 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. And that causes 11 damage
All right.
because I've got that magic weapon thing on my hammer.
Yep.
And then it also for the Searing Smite. Let's see here, 1d6 fire damage, and that will be 5 points of fire damage.
Okay, so 16 total damage. And yeah, I mean, it just howls in pain as it, is kind of almost groveling in the snow in front of this axebeak at this point.
And keep in mind, this Searing Smite is a situation where since the owlbear is on fire, then he has to do repeated saves. Otherwise, he takes more fire damage. He's on fire right now.
Okay.
He is on fire. Yeah.
All right. Very good. And remind me of that when it's the owlbear's turn, okay?
Okay.
Nikos, you managed to you identify a spot that is as you described. Did you say there was a narrow piece of ice, perhaps?
Okay, so I imagine the ice is normally very thick. So what I want to do is I want to use my shape snow ability, which allows me to alter the density of non-magical snow anywhere between silted snow and hard ice to soften, basically get the thickness of it and then just soften it so that it's just a thin bit of hard ice and then it's just packed floating snow on the water.
Yep. Okay, yeah, you managed to do so. And just to be clear, the lake is not totally frozen over. You can kind of see on the map And maybe I should make it a little bit bigger here, but yeah, you managed to find a spot, far enough out there, and you kind of managed to thin the ice, and then you cover snow over it. You said?
No. So basically, I want to thin it from the bottom so that whatever snow is there is kind of just making it look like it's still ice. Because if ice gets too thin, a breeze could break it and it'll collapse, and that's no good to me. So I want to make sure that there's still a layer of actual snow, but not hardened ice. So it's still soft enough that the ice will give.
Okay. Yep. You managed to do so. And that will be probably all you have time for on this turn.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Nice. That brings us to the Owlbear. The Owlbear is going to... Okay, so...
At
Alex,
the start
do I
of your
have to-
turn, you take a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, yep. Rolled a 19.
Okay, you definitely shook off that fire.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And she is going to disengage
Okay.
and basically split toward Nikos. And so you see the owlbear take off and run in the direction where it was first commanded by Nikos. And that is all it is going to do.
Okay.
All right. That brings us to
Mwah.
Clay.
Okay, so if the owlbear is taking off away from us, I think I'd choose to regroup with Grukvar, because Fizwick is nowhere to be seen, right? So I'm gonna saunter on over, not saunter, but frustratedly.
No, saunter, please.
But yes, I'm going to, like David Hasselhoff, coming out of the water, make my way over to Grukvar.
That mad Genasi swagger, yo.
Unfortunately, chose the wrong word, and now I'm sticking with it. Um,
I like sauntering.
So I'm just gonna head over to Grukvar, and what should we do?
This
But-
Axbeak can't carry this Axbeak can't carry the three of us, can it?
No, I wouldn't think so. Certainly not me.
It's like I'm going it alone.
Can it? I mean, how hurt is the Axbeak? Can the Axbeak even?
It's it's definitely bleeding from its side, but it's not doesn't look like a fatal wound, we'll say.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I guess take off. I'll follow as fast as I can.
All right. Following the owlbear.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, is it my turn?
Now it is Fizwick's turn, and then
Oh,
it's
okay.
Grukvar. Yep. Fizwick, what would you like to do? You've seen the owlbear take off. Clay is kind of, starting to depart after it.
Want to ready an action that if it. Oh wait. What's Grukvar doing?
So Grukvar is still on the axe, or no, Grukvar jumped off the Axbeak, right?
Mm-hmm. But I'm
Okay.
heading back up. You can see from the look on my face, I'm heading right back up on that Axbeak.
Grukvar is grabbing the saddle, looking as about about to get back in
We're
it.
we're headed towards in pursuit.
Yeah, and Clay is now following the owlbear as the owlbear has split toward the place where Nikos first commanded it to flee.
I'm gonna sneak off towards the Axbeak, or to Owlbear. Sorry.
Okay. Yep. So you're gonna head that direction.
Yeah.
Unseen.
Okay.
Unseen.
Okay. Yep. So go ahead and make a stealth check.
23.
All right. Yep. So you kind of are creeping along in the snow, just barely skirting it, and with the white side of your cloak facing up, and you are getting a little bit close to the owlbear, we'll say, but it's probably still a good 30, 40 feet off.
Okay.
Oh, we'll say probably actually more like 20 because it had to disengage first. I forgot about that.
It's 20 feet away.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and try to cast a bonfire directly on it.
Okay.
You hear more curse words, but they're a little muffled because they're coming from the snow.
Okay. Yeah, you cast Bonfire, and it rolled a 3 on its dexterity save, so go ahead and roll your d8 of damage, 1d8.
Sorry. 4.
All right. Yeah, so this thing is running in the snow, and this bonfire just appears right in front of it, and it can't put the brakes on, and just as it again just this kind of blood-curdling cry of pain. All right, and that brings us to Grukvar.
Okay,
You see this swift white blob moving through the snow, just barely.
I want to ride up alongside the owlbear as it's running and sweep my warhammer with one hand like a polo club.
Nice.
I don't even know if that's what it's called. Is that called a polo club? Polo
Mallet?
stick? Polo mallet?
I
Yeah,
can
that's what I
picture
want to do.
it. Sure.
Oh, you're gonna ride up next to it and just be like, heck of a day, huh?
and then depart. 17 to hit.
That's a hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
7 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right, the owlbear, you land a blow, and it just kind of crumples to the ground, and it starts to claw at the ground, and it just kind of starts to twitch and lays still.
What?
Your hammer your hammer fell the owlbear, but how do we say
What?
has fallen the owlbear? That doesn't.
The owlbear has fallen.
There we go. It felled the owlbear. There we go. Thank
There,
you.
yeah, that works.
Right.
That works.
We got it. I'm learning to talk like a Viking slowly.
Okay.
What an epic kill shot too, like the polo hit, man. Just
Yeah. Just
Oh yeah.
crush. All right.
And there's Nikos alone on a lake.
Oh,
Looking at his watch,
Where the hell is this owlbear?
he's got his extremely elaborate booby trap set up, and his
guys, it
Oh,
was
yeah.
gonna be like, if we count last time. I mean, what do we have? Maybe 45 minutes of owlbear battle last time.
Yeah.
And then if we include this, and then if we had also Nikos, it could have been about a 3-hour owlbear encounter. Did you not? Whew. That was intense. So the owlbear's crushed corpse lays before you. What would you guys like to do?
Oh, go ahead.
Since I'm closest, can I just say I want to dismount from the axe beak and then stand on it, just so that when everyone else shows up, I'm standing there in a proud stance like gold medal winner, and I've got my chest puffed out and my warhammer at my side with it resting on the owlbear's head. I mean, this is
like
a once in a lifetime opportunity.
It's a Frank Frazetta painting right there.
Yeah.
Man.
Uh-huh.
Well, there's the scantily clad woman that you pull out of your pocket to sit on top of
Exactly,
your
and she wouldn't survive 5 minutes in this weather. So
Oh,
with her metal bikini, so
Yeah, no. If it's a true Frazetta, there is that.
there is.
It's fur lined.
yeah, so that's true. Fur-lined bikini and like a little skimpy cape.
Oh boy.
So Grukvar catches up and looks at. Clay catches up to Grukvar and looks at him, shakes his head, kind
What
of
took you so long?
grin. That actually makes me chuckle a little bit, but I still shake my head and roll my eyes and just say, "Come on, hero."
Clay, next time remember you can help us out a little bit.
Oh, where are you?
And Fizwick comes up right behind his legs.
Don't do that.
Michael, I would say that probably you could see, just in the light of the aurora, the 3 figures and the axe beak kind of up on the ridge above.
As if painted.
If you're really squinting your
Glorious
eyes,
sunset
and
behind them.
you see no sign of the owlbear mother anymore.
That's a call for artists to paint silhouettes of us across like an aurora borealis.
With Nikos with a dejected, disappointed look on a lake,
Yeah.
looking up at them.
Oh, I want to
Aw.
kill it.
I don't know didn't want to kill it. I just didn't want to get eaten. So you know, I'm happy.
You played one of the biggest roles, dude. You have like 500 to 1,000 golds, or
Yeah. No, I'm good. No, I meant that. I meant that without being facetious. No. Seriously, like survival was my key. I didn't.
I think at a certain point, I think Nikos is right, because there wasn't a way out of this without killing this owlbear, because we couldn't all ride on an axe beak out of there. Do you know what I mean? So we had to do it.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
So you would have been all alone, Clay.
Yeah. So I'll take some time and pack up my my bear kits and stuff like that. I'll also feed the baby owlbears a little bit, like just some of the rations that I didn't throw in the dirty ground. And I will then slowly start to make my way. I told them that I would go to Claire Dinner Vault, and I'm not going to run towards them and then play chasey with them. So I'll start making my way towards Claire Dinner Vault and meet them kind of at the stables there.
Fizwick,
Okay.
ask him where he's going.
Yep, and I would say that, you know, at some point probably the axe beak begins to tire quite a bit, and I imagine maybe these owlbears, you're maybe picking out areas of snow or ice where they can actually kind of slide across without doing damage. And by the way, when you feed them, I mean, they're just right. You know, you got to move your hand. You don't want to get your hands too close. These little owlbear cubs are fierce and angry.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use the scroll of animal friendship on one of the owlbears. And while I'm not trying to domesticate them, I'm definitely trying to teach them manners, because I think that is the kind of pretentious and
Thank you.
and horrible thing that Nikos would do is I would enchant one of them to teach the other one how to behave in order to get food.
Yep. All right. So
Surprised he hasn't used this on me yet.
If only the spell worked on goblins, I swear it would have been the first thing I did. This is cutlery.
So are they like well-behaved dogs?
Somebody
Like
else's pocket.
like they'll kind of like sit and stay while they wait for you to get some food for them?
No, I'm not going to teach them tricks or anything like that. I think that's, you know, again, not something you can really teach in a moment. But I am going to teach them how not to snatch, or to like basically take off a hand when you're feeding them.
Okay.
Yeah. So it says here it has to succeed on a wisdom saving throw. So I'm going to make that roll for it here. And I don't know what an owlbear baby's wisdom is, but we'll just say maybe it's like 2 less than the mama. So it rolled a 10 wisdom. Yeah, so it's going to be like an 8 or something. So not going to make it. And that basically, yeah, you have managed to calm it down, and it doesn't seem angry at you anymore. And
So I'm gonna so what I'll do is I will feed that one, and I'll feed it gently so that it'll take the food. I'll then feed the angry one, but then as the angry one snaps, I'll pull my hand away and then feed the one that's being calm, and I'll repeat this process until it calms down, and then I'll start feeding it again, and then alternate between the two of them till they're fed and a bit more docile. I mean, I don't imagine they'll be docile, but you know, till they're not struggling and causing my axe beak to kind of wobble all over the place and all that.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, you definitely managed to do so. The one, you know, quickly catches on that if I don't snap at him, I get more food. So, yes, very good. All right, the rest of you, are you also heading back to Cara Dinaval at this time, or?
Well,
Yeah,
we
we
would probably
just,
not know 100% that that's what Nikos is doing.
Well, he did. I don't know if you would be able to hear it from where he was, but when he rode off, he did shout that to us.
Okay.
I just want to take a moment to acknowledge
can use
one thing that was said in chat of Nikos feeding the chicks by chewing on the jerky and vomiting in their mouth. Gross. Just, no. Awful.
Well, that would be
Brains,
a
on
way
the other
to
hand.
stay far away. You know, because you know.
Nice.
Okay, if we know for sure he's going to Care Dinaval, then yeah. Otherwise, Fizwick can use the stones to
That's a good
double
idea.
check.
Oh yeah, that's right. The
To make
sending
sure
stone.
that he's okay.
What is the range on a sending stone? Let's see. It looks like. Oh, I hate how this is one of those items that just says it does the sending spell. Well, just tell me what the sending spell does. All right. So it looks like you can send the message across any distance and even to other planes of existence. So there you go.
So there is no range.
Nope. All right. So Fizwick, are you using the sending stone or who is?
Oh, so other people can use it?
Well, it's on you. You have it.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to make sure he's like going to where he said he was.
Yep, Caer Dineval. So yes. So go ahead and say what you would say to him.
I say that
Grugfar puts his hand out if you want to put the sending stone in it.
Yeah, and he does.
Okay.
Fizwick hadn't intended anything because he already
Wipe it off first. It's been in
He
his
already-
ear.
He already
Okay.
going there, so he didn't feel like he needed to ask him. So
I picture it being about the size of like a little hand radio walkie-talkie. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So I wipe it off. I wipe it off on my pants. I don't know if Fizwick has a offended look on his face. So I wipe it off on my pants, and then I put it to my ear and I say, check 1 2, check 1 2. Nikos, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Are you out there, Nikos? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What do you want?
Where are you? Are you heading to Caer Dineval?
Yes, I am heading to Caldinaval. I'm heading westward by southwest. Everything looks like snow and whiteness here.
Well, we'll do the same, and perhaps we'll meet you on the road.
Very well. Is anyone injured or dead?
Only the Mama Owlbear.
That is a shame. All right. Well, we'll see you in Caer Dineval. Journey safe.
So long.
All right.
says, give me that.
Do you
And-
wipe it off?
No.
No, he licks it.
He looks at them. Nobody else will take it again.
All right, and I think that is the perfect time for a break. We will see how the party fares in their journey to Caer Dineval here, coming soon. So thank you everybody so much for watching. Oh, before we go to the break, I am going to roll for the patron winner here. And so patrons at the quest giver level or higher are entered for occasional giveaways, and I'm usually very terrible at them, and occasional means like a couple a year, but I'm going to try to get a little better about that. So I have got a list of the 10 patrons who put their name in the hat, so the virtual hat, so to speak. And I am going to now roll a d10 to see which of these patrons will win the GM's dressing dice Dungeon 1 and Dungeon 2. Here we go. That was a 3, which means Tegan P is our winner. Tegan, congratulations. I'll be sending you these dungeon dressing dice. Once again, I want to thank our sponsor for the stream as well, Hero Forge. Check them out. There's a link in the video description, Hero Forge. Get building some characters. You can build some of these characters. By the way, we have links to these characters actually in the video description, so you can check them out, and then you can add like, you know, pointy hats and chicken wings and what else do they? Give me another ridiculous thing, Michael. What else do they have?
Santa Claus outfits.
There we go.
You can pull it. You can all make us like in a toga party, so everyone's wearing togas with like.
Turn us all into
Sandals now.
earrings and send us photos of you wearing
Good send
them.
us into earrings. Yeah, that's that.
There you go. So check out HeroForge.com, and thanks again for their sponsorship. And make sure you check out Dead Aussie Gamer. In the video description, there's a link to the Twitch and YouTube channels for Dead Aussie Gamer, and you also have I keep forgetting I need to add the YouTube Live as well. But Michael here does some great stuff, including streaming games. He has a recent Hero Forge video in which he put Hero Forge to the test, and that was pretty entertaining, I thought. So check them out. And then Fizwick also here has the Dark Sea Workshop stuff, getting on making beautiful resin dice, goodies, and jewelry and other things. Will, have you posted any dice yet? I know you're like super close. Do you have some that are like, oh, I think this one is doable?
It's so close. When that stimulus happens, I'm just caving in and getting the pressure pot. 'Cause I've been trying to make this happen without one, and it's possible, but it's like shooting fish in a barrel. You're gonna get like 1 out of 10 right. So I've also been playing with making fishing lures that glow in the dark. Nate actually coined the term. It was the Dark Sea Tackle Shop, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Look at that glow.
Whoa!
It's amazing, yeah. He's got the expensive
That's awesome.
glow stuff. It's powerful. All right, well,
That's amazing.
we're going to sign off, but definitely check out the Etsy shop for Dark Sea Workshop. Makes really quality stuff. Support a, independent craftsman trying to make it. So, all right, I'm going to put up the we'll be back soon screen, and we will be back soon. Hello, everybody, and welcome us back. I always say welcome back, and then it's like, no, that's not how this works, Nate. They've been here all along. Hey, it's good to be back. We're going to be playing some Dungeons and Dragons. And so, our party has just encountered an owlbear and 2 cubs, having quite a series of events, much back and forth. And eventually managed to capture 2 owlbear cubs. Nikos has them in tow and is headed to Caer-Dineval, where he has told the rest of the party he will meet them. The rest of the party defeated the mother owlbear. Grukvar has field dressed the owlbear and told me this during the break that, and what else did you do?
Just took enough for to make a cape and harvested the claws.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. And off they go now to Caer-Dineval. I imagine Nikos will probably be there first. But probably arriving actually pretty close to the same time as Nikos's Axebeak is quite heavily burdened with 2 owlbear cubs that are about the size of like a medium to large dog, we'll say.
Not very still either. They're probably wrestling on the side of the.
There's a bit of thrashing from time to time, yes.
But I calmed them down earlier on with the food and the scroll and stuff.
Yes. Well, here we are in Caer-Dineval. You guys kind of reunite right outside the town and head on in. You are greeted by a very small town, probably about the same size as Caer-Konig, but possibly even smaller. And immediately, let's see here, Caer-Dineval, there we go. You are greeted by the sight of, up on high on the hill, the Caer. It's kind of towering over the town here. You can see in this picture, and that is the castle. And that's where it gets its name, Caer-Dineval. And then the town below here, in sort of a horseshoe pattern around Lac Dinishir, this now frozen harbor here. The people of Caer-Dineval, you would know, are a little bit colder in their reception toward outsiders. But you do manage to catch a couple nods as people recognize a helpful group of people that they may have heard about. And they also anyone who's out seemingly is very much in a hurry to get inside as the cold wind whips through off of Lac Dinishir into the creaky wooden buildings of Caer-Dineval. If one of you were to say that you've been here before, that's totally possible. Those of you who are familiar with the 10 towns, it's very possible. But, yes, what would you like to do?
I'm exhausted. Anyone else need a rest?
Time is it? Did you just say or not?
It's probably getting toward quite late, probably around supper time.
Or I could grab a bite to eat and get some sleep. Fizwick, though, has just intentions of quickly casing the place, see if he can pickpocket before he goes to bed. That's his one intention. He wants to get some sleep. He got hurt pretty bad last week from Nikos, took half of his money, but so
He's got to replenish the stock so he can gamble
Just
more
try.
away.
I, for one,
Oh, yeah.
with a hot meal and a drink and some rest.
I feel fine, and I'm not hungry, so I'm going to talk to the stable master as I stable Peppermint to see if he'll not care for, but keep the 2 owlbears until I can find a buyer there with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The stable master is willing to do so, and maybe finds a pen and really ties them up pretty well with, you know, a chain around the neck, I would say, and tied to the strong post of a stable stall.
I'll give him 5 silver pieces. This is just a sign, like, you know, just this is for keeping the owlbears, and there's another 5 in it for you if no one hears about them. Because, you know, I don't trust these guys, and, you know, this guy's just as likely to maybe swindle me by selling them behind my back. So I'll give him some incentive to keep them around till I come back. And I'm going to try and find a potential buyer, potentially around the black markets, the trading stalls, stuff like that. I'm just going to ask around town.
Okay. Yeah, and yeah, so I'm going to have you make maybe an investigation check.
Ooh, 13?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think most of the folk you talk to just say, really? They kind of look at you bewildered. Wow. No, I mean, definitely one of the larger cities, you'd have better luck. Folk around here, poor, frozen, you know, nary a cup of ale in the tavern these days.
So you are having problems with your tavern, you say?
The ale doesn't come through, and this particular villager is a furbolg with big mutton chop hair, kind of graying on the end, and he says, the lake frozen over, and once in a while we get a small barrel from Kerkonig to the north from their trading with the dwarves, but other than that, nothing coming through. It's like we've been forgotten here in Kirtinaval.
And what about the people who live in the very impressive-looking castle? Do they not support the people?
The speaker. He's fallen ill. Don't see much of him these days.
I see. And this speaker, he is like your king?
Oh, yeah, something like that, like the mayor or something.
Yeah.
Do you live in the care?
Oh, he does, yes. Yes.
Perhaps this speaker has money.
Perhaps, but most of us just leave him alone these days.
Well, and Nikos's like eyes will sort of glow a little bit. I am not most. I will give him 2 copper pieces for his trouble.
Okay. He accepts it. Says, thank you. I'm gonna transition over to Fizwick here. Fizwick, why don't you go ahead and make a just a stealth check to see how you fare in your pickpocketing here. Because no one's gonna let you get close to them here. This is not a crowded place. You're gonna have to be very sneaky.
13.
Okay. I'm gonna say you don't manage to get close enough to anyone on the streets of Kirtinaval. Okay. Everyone kind of, you know, last minute turns around and says, you know, kind of maybe gives you a nod, nothing more, and curtly walk away.
Fizwick just kind of grabs a quick snack real quick and actually goes back out to the stables because he doesn't trust that anybody's gonna not jack these owlbears, and he's willing to just see if he can kind of get in with them and just have his bed in there.
Thus ends the life of Fizwick.
Wouldn't be
All
the
right.
first time he slept in a stable.
Yeah, I mean, you managed to do so in the stable near the owlbears. Yeah, you hear them. I don't know what an owlbear crying sounds like, but you hear. There you go, cooing. Yes, I like it.
Sirenscape, are you listening?
If you guys want to hit me up, I got all kinds of voices I can do. me and Nikos will get together. We'll make you a whole arsenal of monsters.
All right, so
The gentleman that we were talking to earlier, Can I ask him if he mentioned there's no ale, but is there a place to get a warm meal and sit and rest for a while?
Aye, the uphill climb should have you covered. Diniv's Rest closed just about 6 months ago now. That was the other place, but the uphill climb is still open. He points kind of up the hill near the care.
What was the other establishment called?
Diniv's Rest.
What happened to that place?
Well, with the lack of ale, the lack of provisions coming from further south, Caer Dineval's shriveling, shrinking.
That uphill climb looks like it's all by itself up there. Why is it not part of the town?
You guys can see it right there, here. Oh, you know, it's generally a little more prestigious to be closer to the speaker and the care and all that. And they managed to afford the real estate, so there it lies.
Thanks for your time, stranger.
Thank you.
Aye. Good luck to you.
I'd like to walk up to the uphill climb and see what we can see.
Okay. Yep, and Fizwick, would you probably see them taking off in that direction. Would you follow, or are you going to stay in the stable?
Fizwick's he's not leaving the stable for nothing.
Okay. Yep.
Have you made that clear to us with your body language?
No, by just not being next to you.
Oh, okay.
Yep. You guys probably don't know where Fizwick is. You might think he's off picking some pockets somewhere for...
Jack and the Owlbears right now. We're getting out of here. Let's go. Taking both.
He's not leaving the stable because the owlbear babies ate his legs.
Let's head up to the uphill climb, and Fizwick will find us later if he needs us, I'm sure. Not too big of a town.
All right, so you guys want to head over to the uphill climb. Let's see here.
Can we walk past that abandoned tavern? I don't know why, but I'm a little curious about it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so it's further to the south, but absolutely, if you want to stop by there. It's a drafty old building with boarded up windows and a crooked weather vane shaped like a rearing dragon. Yeah, it's been out of business for some time, and that is very evident as you walk up to it.
Okay. Boy, I wish Fizwick was here with us now. This is really his cup of tea. But
well, there is somebody that has a stone that can talk to me, so like, you know.
Are there any lights on at all? Like somebody maybe lives above it, or?
No, there are no lights on whatsoever.
I would like to walk around to the back of the building, see if there's any doors back there or any other sort of old windows or entryways or anything.
Clay will sort of walk around in a circle in the front of it to just sort of keep his eye on the rest of the town as we're just people watch.
Yep, it's all boarded up, and you don't seem to see an opening. As you guys are checking out the tavern here, from one of the buildings nearby, you kind of see a halfling with a wagon and attaching it to two axe beaks, and he kind of catches your eye and says, "Hey there, what are you about? What you doing?"
Just investigating what might be maybe a good real estate opportunity. What do you know about this place? Do you know who owns it? Who did own it? Does anyone own it?
Yeah, was me actually.
Well, I'm sorry that it looks like things have been tough in this town. What happened?
Well, couldn't compete with the uphill climb. Just put me out of business, and dwindling population. Even the uphill climb these days hardly ever serves ale anymore, so you can imagine it's hard to keep a tavern open under those circumstances. I fancied myself a bit of a chef, and well, hard to even get any sort of provisions to make anything delicious these days. I'm packing up, actually.
You say you're a chef, or
That's
you
right.
were a chef.
That's right.
Well, I've got someone I think would like to talk with you.
Oh, really?
Is Nikos nearby, or is he still in the front of the building or something?
Nikos, are you nearby?
Yeah, I imagine I'm climbing uphill towards the care.
Okay. I kind of give the, just wait just a minute sign to the halfling, and I want to run after Nikos.
Okay.
You'd still be connected to my telepathy. It's a 1 mile range.
Oh, okay. Can I just like reach out with my mind to talk to you? Is that how that works, or do you have to kind of instigate it?
All I have to do is change who the target is. I think I moved from Fizwick to you after I got the sending stone.
Okay. I try my best not to look weird in front of this halfling, but I sort of step away. It's almost like I'm ducking into a phone booth, but basically I'm like looking into the abandoned building, and I reach out to Nikos and I say, Nikos, I could use some of your business acumen over here. I found this chef. Maybe it's the one that we've been looking for, perhaps. Do you remember his name?
Did we get a name?
No, I don't think you got a name. No.
I don't think we did.
But, I mean, this guy does tell you, Grekvar, that he's headed to Kerkonig, to the north.
Oh, okay.
He seems to be packing his wagon.
Nikos, I'm thinking to Nikos right now. Nikos, do you think it'd be wise to extend our operation to this location as well?
Wait there. I'll be right there. I'll make my way over to their location, and as I do so, I want to kind of take a look. I know that obviously there's just snow and ice and stuff like that. Clearly, trade and travel is far between. There is literally no coin exchange here. It's all going outwards. So what I want to look for is, I guess, Nikos is a very economical individual, and he wants to look at little things, other things. Food and drink is obviously a passion of his, apparently. So what I want to look at is there's a type of ale that you can make from mushrooms called Moret ale. It requires a particular type of fungal growth that usually can grow from like forests and lime wood and stuff. So the question is like, are we like in the middle of like a frozen tundra? Is there at least some greenery? Is there anything that I could look at and go, yeah, if we just chop into the ice, we can get like, I don't know, fish oil and use that for trade,
Should we search for a cave that might have fungus growing in it?
I don't need to look for specifically fungus. I just need signs of something to that could reboot industry. Because the thing is making ale is not going to help anyone if no one's got jobs to pay for the ale.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what he's looking at.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I was gonna say, being sort of not interested in money and business and stuff. Clay is, I'm assuming those are like docks that are close to us.
Yeah, they are.
Clay's gonna just sort of like absent-mindedly wander over and around the docks and look at the sort of the shape of things or the state of things, just because.
Yep, sounds good. So first of all, Nikos, you don't see any like vegetation really at all, other than a couple, maybe small pieces of brush with a couple leaves clinging to them, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then Ryan, the lake Lac-Dinishir is frozen over almost as far as you can see. You can probably see where, like, oh yeah, there's some water out there, but there's a couple boats, small boats, that are frozen in place, but there's not really any activity here.
Are they like rowboats or like larger fishing boats?
They are, yeah, like rowboats. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna stroll.
So, fun fact, I actually Michael studied business and tourism management for a couple of years back in the day. And these are the dying gasps of industry here in this town. It is, Nikos predicts that within a few years, if a year at all, this place will basically just be an abandoned ghost town. When he arrives, seeing the chef all packed up and looking at Grokvar, and the rundown tavern, he says, "There is not much here, from what I can gather. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Nikos, and my associate Grokvar here tells me that you are looking at moving on from this place."
Yes, I am. I'm headed to Kerkoning, actually. An opportunity has arisen. Apparently, they could use a chef. So that's where I'm headed.
Yes. In fact, I am one of the in-part owners of the Northern Lights, if that is the location that you are seeking.
It is indeed, yes. The sisters there have been most kind in their letter to me and said there may be an opportunity for me to put my skills to use, even if for a meager amount of coin.
Well, strange, because I was actually on my way here, along with my associates, to speak with you about this. It seemed as though you weren't happy with the original offer.
Oh, not happy with the original offer. Well, I mean...
Sorry, play at a GM. Wasn't that why we were here, to talk to him? They were like, he didn't want to come?
Oh, no, I think that they had sent a letter and they said they hadn't heard back yet, basically.
Ah,
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, that was my misunderstanding. Okay, I will retract that line of inquiry.
I thought you were just,
that was our best offer.
I thought you were just playing. I thought, nice work. He's playing hardball with him.
No. I wasn't
I
playing
did too.
hardball, but
Okay. Yeah.
but I mean I could, but I think Nico is quite fair, especially to staff members and stuff. But more importantly, he sort of says, "I've heard much about your skills in the culinary arts. The sisters are quite excellent as hostesses to the Northern Lights, but I'm looking at, well, I guess someone with a bit more passion." He looks over at the dilapidated tavern. "You see, good drink and good food are hard to come by in this area. What I want to expand. Not simply put a chef serving pub food to the masses, but a full experience for the dining palate. Somewhere that no other place in Icewind Dale can find."
Well, it seems to be a tall order, but, I mean, Kerkonig, I hear, has picked up a bit recently, and crazier things have happened, I suppose. I mean, listen, I'll be straight with you. By the way, the name is Vigo Proudmead, and that's my wife, Paprika. And she kind of, you see someone on the porch now who just kind of gives a wave and says, "Where did you put those? I just simply cannot..." Oh. And she seems to be fidgeting with things and trying to pack belongings and such. The real
A pleasure to make your acquaintance, madam.
Oh, yes. Very nice, very nice. And you can see it's a little halfling woman, bundled up, blondish hair. And Vigo says to you, "The problem is the sisters wrote hoping that I could also bring some ingredients, some new things, and there's just almost nothing. I have some roots, maybe some herbs they haven't heard of, but the reality is the pass to the mountains is under threat. The snow is far too deep, and we now hear rumor that it might not just be the Frost Maiden's Rime, the snow, the ice, the cold, but also a threat from some Duergar. Until these things are dealt with, I cannot see a thriving experience worthy of my skill here in Icewind Dale. But I'm headed north to see what we can do.
Well, firstly, I think it might please you to know that many of the Duergar have been removed from the vicinity. All but, of course, the friendlier ones, he says, looking at Grokvar.
Oh. Well, yes, I heard about that, but what I'm talking about is there might be more than you think. As a matter of fact, unseen thieves of Caer Konig to the north. Well, I've seen footprints right out here on this street. Strange.
Well, perhaps there is something we can do. All right, Grokvar, where are the others?
I'll round them up.
Don't bother. I'm going to be traveling with Mr. Sorry, what was his last name?
Proudmead.
Mr. Proudmead. I'm going to head to the Ken very briefly to see what kind of wealth, funds, and supplies are still within the castle. Often those who are wealthy hoard while the people suffer, and let's see if we can loosen some of those coffers. In the meantime, Grokvar, Clay, and Fizwick, see if what you can find out about these Durga. I smell that their influence here may require our attention as well, and if they are, of course, impeding this trade, supplies, and food, it's only a matter of time before they impact our business in Caer Konig.
Nikos, if they truly are about, is it really best for our party to split up, or should we?
I will not take long. I will maintain contact, and then I will catch up as soon as I can. My intention is to, of course, leave Mr. Proudmead in the company of the Seeker, in hopes that perhaps maybe a good meal might lighten his mood and loosen his purse.
Clay comes back around the corner just as Nikos is explaining
Okay.
this. Says, Duragar, and then a glance at Grokvar. Sorry.
Well, Nikos, we'll begin the investigation, and if you need anything, and I just tap my head, and which probably looks weird to the halfling, but you know what that means.
Nikos will bow and nod and invite Mr. Proudmead and his wife and say, for the time being, before you head out, perhaps you will accompany me. If you have such meager supplies, maybe there is something we can do to get you a little bit more on your travels.
Yes. Well, we're not leaving till tomorrow morning, so I suppose there's a bit of time.
Excellent. I invite him to follow, and we'll go to the Cairn with him and the missus.
Okay, yeah. So you guys make your way up to Caer Dineval. Along the way, on the road, you do pass the inn, which seems to have some level of activity outside. People going about their business. He says, and Vigo says, yes, I tried to get in with the owners of the Uphill Climb, but it's hard when you've been competitors for years and years. They didn't want my help, and, well, I suppose in some ways I was a bit too proud to beg. So I've been fairly idle these past few years, and Paprika says, he is too proud, but in this case, I believe he has done the right thing.
Yes, I would have to agree. Even if they are seeing some meager seams of success, It's only a matter of time before they will suffer the harsh of the winter. But step lively. We shall speak with the people, with the Seeker, and see what we can get from them.
All right. So as you approach Caer Dinaval, the castle, let's see here. Getting there.
Can Clay and I begin our search simultaneously, or should we hold off?
Yeah,
for
actually,
time?
you absolutely can. And yeah, I mean, you guys don't. Well, go ahead and make perception checks, both of you.
Okay.
Good.
So, just real quick, Nate. I've kind of put myself in a corner here. My character, obviously having his motivations of business and stuff. I foresee this encounter that I'm about to have as relatively boring. So I'm more than happy to, of course, pass off the scene, as it were, up until a relevant point. Everything pretty much is going to be him trying to get an audience with the Seeker and using the two chefs, or I presume the wife is a chef as well, to provide a good meal nutritionally, to try and find out how much food this guy has compared to the rest of the town. Like, is this guy just like, is he the reason why everyone's suffering? Is kind of the secret mission that I'm kind of on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. Yeah, we'll come back to that in a second. And how did the perception checks go for you guys?
I got a 10.
16.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you don't notice anything particularly out of the ordinary. You know, you're listening, you're watching.
Can we
It seems still and right.
can we make like an actual investigation and walk around the house and sort of around the backs of the residents that are on the street there?
I see nearby there, it says, is it ruined Watchtower
Yeah.
on the map there?
Yep. There's a ruined watchtower there. Yep.
Can I suggest to Clay that we head there and look around? I don't know if it's how ruined it is. If it's got like, can we go inside or?
Yeah, it's quite ruined. There are a couple walls still standing. Some, you know, the tallest wall is probably about 20 feet high, and it's just rubble. There's nothing to speak of there really. And yeah, as you walk around, you know, other than the sight of maybe a person kind of shuffling down the street here and there, in warm weather clothing. In cold weather clothing.
Mhm.
You don't
They've just
really
gotten
see
used to it.
anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Um,
Can I ask
we-
Clay to lift me up to the highest point so I can kind of scramble up on the ruined watchtower?
Sure. Yeah.
Clay, give me a heft, Clay.
I look around to see if anybody notices, and then I pick this small man up and put him on the wall.
Fizwick's been watching through a hole in the barn the whole time. He saw it.
Does he approve?
you
Does
managed
Fizwick
to-
approve?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a bit of a job getting Gruckvar up there. He's
Oh,
short, but
but he
he's
lifts
I'm
the
gonna do a
starter
quick
bar.
athletics check, okay?
okay.
20. I mean, it's 17 plus 3, 20.
Yeah, I mean, you managed to get up there, and you kind of grab onto a piece maybe, and you can even get a little bit higher. You
Okay.
you step onto a small ledge, maybe even off of Clay.
Okay.
Clay's back.
Ugh. Hmm.
I'm just gonna do a look around and just sort of another general inspection here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You still don't really notice anything out of the ordinary. Yep.
Okay.
But we don't see the footprints that the chef had been talking about.
No, you don't. You really don't. Yep.
Okay, then I want to jump down and I want to just have us work our way up the street.
I'm not
That's-
catching you.
Can I look around for a nice soft snowbank to land in?
Absolutely.
All right.
Cannonball.
All right, we're gonna go back to Nikos for a moment here.
Okay.
Yeah, you see this kind of small castle with these huge walls gathering, rising up above. And I lost my place. Let's see here. Okay, yes, a sturdy stone castle devoid of warmth and ostentation squats atop the cliffs, overlooking the town and the frozen harbor. Warding the castle entrance are thick, battle-hardened wooden doors. 4 cylindrical guard towers have wind-worn flags bearing the town's heraldry fluttering above their tiled, conical roofs. These towers are connected by icy battlements and parapets. Atop the castle wall and within the guard towers, torches flicker. Nikos, what would you like to do?
I'll approach the main gates.
Okay, yeah, you do so, and the guards call down, "Who goes there?"
A visitor for the Seeker. My name is Nikos, and these are my companions. We are here to speak with them on behalf of our small restaurant. We are hoping that perhaps a good meal and conversation might raise the spirits of the Seeker.
The speaker's ill. He can't see guests right now, but if you do have a gift, you can leave it at the gate.
Oh, I'm sure, of course, that the Seeker's ailments are, of course, a terrible, terrible blight. But I assure you that that we mean no harm, and that the services we provide may help ease his suffering.
And Vigo says to you, "No one's seen him for nearly a year now. I think we should be on our way. They don't want us here."
If not the Seeker, perhaps there is someone else in charge we may speak with.
And you kind of see the guards kind of mumbling a little bit, and then a figure in a black robe does step forward with a kind of a thick fur-lined hood, and just says, "I'm sorry, we can't take guests right now. Speaker's not doing well, and we're in need of privacy."
I would like to do an insight check on these guys. I'm kind of starting to suspect that maybe the Seeker is dead, and these guys are trying to kind of hide this fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead and make your insight check.
Okay. That is a 18 on my insight.
Yeah, I mean, you get the feeling that, you know, it seems suspicious to you. We'll just say that, but you know, it seems like he's. You don't sense any obvious tells that would, you know, cause you to think he's lying.
Okay. Well, should your mind be changed, there is a. I basically I'm going to cut myself off, and I'll reach into my pocket. I'll scroll down on a piece of parchment some information about the Northern Lights, and I'll tie it to the gates. There is a lot of concern, and do these guards look like well fed and like healthy and that kind of thing?
They do definitely look a bit on the gaunt side, I would say. Even the hooded figure definitely is just pale and gaunt.
Sure. I will then leave. I'll tell the other two there is no food here, and I am fairly sure that the others at the Northern Light will understand if you arrive. Here, take this with you. I am going to relinquish a bag of 50 gold pieces and hand it to them and tell them to be sure to stock up on anything you require.
Wow, this is so generous. I couldn't.
Oh, no. Please do not misunderstand. This is not a generous offer. Should let's say, should your talent be an exaggeration, or your cart seems to fall under a mysterious accident on the way to Caer Konig, rest assured, there is something else that I find far more palatable than the food served to the masses, and you will not like to discover what that is. and I'll have my eyes sort of go like this dark and inky black as I will then say, "Now, I look forward to a long and prosperous relationship," and stretch my hand out to him before leaving.
Yeah, you definitely see fear in his eyes for a moment there, and then he says, "Oh, yes, I understand. This will do good things for the Northern Light and our joint venture." And he extends his hand and shakes yours.
After shaking, I will bow to his wife, and then I will go and seek out Grokvar, Clay, and Fizwick.
Mm-hmm. Good. And Fizwick, I would like you, if you could. I'm wondering if you could make a animal handling check, and maybe describe what are you doing here in the stable. Are you simply standing guard, or are you doing anything else?
15. He's just been in there playing with them, trying
Okay.
to ride one of them from time to time, and he might have lost a little bit of a fingernail.
Yeah, I would say that with a 15, you manage to maybe occasionally like touch one, and you're easing your way toward a friendly relationship, maybe. But
You're
not
worming
there
your
yet.
way into their hearts.
Yeah, you're not there yet, but you're definitely like they're not snapping at you like they were when you
Getting
first
a
started
taste
this.
for goblin.
Yeah.
Is Wick still here?
Yeah. So, and you hear a bit of commotion here and there from the axe beaks and other animals in the stable here, but for the most part, it's quite quiet. You don't hear any voices or anything like that. At one point, as Clay and Grukvar are getting ready, or I guess investigating the tower, perhaps. You do see, the cart of Paprika and Vigo being packed a little more as they seem to have come back, and you guys see Nikos come around the bend back this way as well. I assume, Nikos, you were headed back toward them?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, would you guys? It is getting a bit late. You could head over to the what is it? The hill, the uphill climb. And yeah, if you wanted to try to get a room there, or you could depart for Easthaven as well. But it is a late night.
Because Fizwick is still out and about somewhere, and Clay and I were going to walk up along the main street and kind of do our little investigation as we go, and maybe we can just sort of do that in an impromptu way as we're heading to the inn. But I think first we would probably say something to Nikos like, "Back so soon? Did you learn anything from your visit to the care?"
Yes. I've learned that the Seeker is either ill or dead, that the people in the castle starve among their people, meaning that this place is done for.
Doesn't that seem a bit strange to you? That, illness or no illness, what kind of leader would leave the town under his care to wither away?
One that I think might be dead.
Then what are they guarding inside those fortifications?
And why are
They guard
so
hope
weird?
inside those fortifications, and that I cannot fault them for. There are rumors and stories of kings of old who have, of course, perished due to the simplest of illnesses, only to have their staff or household maintain a ruse of their still health. So, if either that is happening or whatever has gripped the castle, there is no exploitation of the people, which, of course, bodes poorly, as there is no business here. No one has money because no one has food. No one comes here for trade, so there is no industry.
If there's
Though
no
the uphill
food,
climb is probably the only place that would be receptive to travelers right now.
if there's no food, people can't survive. Why are they still here?
some seem simply lack the means to travel in this way. At that point, it's just about deciding where you want to die. Imagine, for example, running into the Owlbears with no wagon or horses because you could not afford them, or even enough food to take the supplied journey all the way to the next town.
This is getting a bit too grim even for me, Nikos.
What grim? This is just the way of the world. If you are sad by this, then you know, I mean, go live in Neverwinter. Anyway, so he then says,
This really.
Okay, sorry.
I mean, why
this
is
really-
anyone in Icewind Dale? That's my, you know, I mean,
This
because it's
this
home.
really bothers Clay. Like the fact that an entire town has sort of doomed itself to failure, and is not willing to or able to do anything about it. And so yeah, and I just sort of I sort of take it in and contemplate it while we walk. Sort of sit inside my head for a little while. But I do, as we walk, I do want to take a look down the side street there. I can't see what it says there.
let's see here. There is to the east way.
Yeah, maybe that
Which
one.
goes back to the main road, like to Easthaven,
Okay.
or yeah.
Does the town continue down that road a little bit, or is it?
No, it
Really
does
just-
not. It's
okay.
really quite small. There's probably about 100 people who are left living here, and you do see a couple other buildings that are boarded up, seemingly abandoned.
Okay. Do we, if I were to take like a 30-yard stroll down that street, would I see anything suspicious or possibly that would contribute to the woes of these people?
No, I mean the main thing is that the ice is just shut them off from the lake, is what Vigo said, and yeah, there's just, you know, it's kind of isolated them here, and they, you know, it's true of Caer Konig as well to some extent, but Caer Konig has trade with the dwarves, which keeps it alive. That's kind of what they talked about with the ale. There's also the expeditions up the mountain, and yeah, this Caer Dineval really doesn't have anything going for it, so to speak. You don't really notice anything particularly suspicious or out of place. The people just seem rather down here.
I'd say we've done our duty to investigate for today. Can I finally bed down for the night?
Yes.
yes, indeed.
No, you have to mope a little bit more. I'm sorry.
Taking out the sending stone, I'll reach out to Fizwick. Fizwick, are you still around?
Yes, yes.
Where have you gotten to?
Oh, I'm still here with the Owlbears.
Ah, okay. There's no one's come or gone then at all?
Not that I've seen.
Ah, are you hungry?
No.
Okay,
But I
well,
mean,
we're going to...
Sweets or some candies.
Well, we were going to the uphill. I can reserve you a room, but if you prefer to stay with the Owlbears, I can send some food and drink your way.
No, I've been watching everybody on the streets. Everybody looks here like they would give any chance they could get to sell one of these owlbears, so I'm gonna stay here. Thank
Okay,
you,
would you
Lord.
like me to send you some food?
That would be so nice, Nikos. Thank you.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
Good night, Nikos.
I'll when we get to the
Thank you, Daddy.
The next piece of fan art has to be Nikos holding a candy and Fizwick trying to jump up to get it.
Yeah, during the call, during the us getting a room and stuff like that, I'll order some food, and just because I know how impoverished the people are, I'll pay some small child to run the food. Well, first of all, I'll pay for the small child's dinner, and then I will pay for the small child to run to get some food and drink to Fizwick at the stables.
Yes,
Somebody
very
find
good.
him a small child.
So
Small child, and I've only
child.
I have not. Yes, I have not reached my quota of kidnapping children. I have to at least kidnap another 5.
He's eaten
You have
some
to beat your high
brains.
score.
He's kidnapped some baby owlbears, but no children yet. So, okay, very good. So yes, you guys head up to the uphill climb. It's a beautiful view in a way, but now that you know the desolation beneath, it's soured a bit. You see from the top of the hill, the frozen lake extending out, and kind of ice blowing off the lake. The dark gray sky is now, you see clouds kind of blowing across the sky as you walk in. And the proprietor, Rourke, greets you and says, "Well met, travelers. Come on in. What'll it be?"
Seem rather jovial for the state of things.
Yes, I'm trying to hang on to any shred of business I can get, I suppose. And you can see this kind of, pretty crooked old man here. He's not really leaving his stool, and he immediately has some people clear a table for you. But he's basically just seated behind the bar, holding a cane and just kind of greeting people. Almost more of as you observe him, almost more of a mascot of the tavern here than an actual worker.
He's
these
Yoda.
days.
Well, actually, traditionally, that is what an innkeeper was. Is they were not a bartender, but actually someone who would simply greet and ensure that everyone was comfortable. Very much what we'd consider a concierge today. So
Yeah, that makes sense then. Yeah. People are slightly warm and friendly here. You probably get a couple nods. You find a small child, a boy, 9 years old or whatever, to run some food down. There is no ale. People seem to be drinking boiled water here, but there is some soup, and a few other things on the menu. Just not much. And will you be staying with us tonight?
yes, indeed. 3 rooms.
I will have your rooms prepared, and you guys can go ahead and subtract for a room. Let's see. There we go. That'll be about 6 coppers for the meal and lodging. So pretty squalid overall, but
Done.
it's something.
Yep, I pay for it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Anything else you guys would like to do here as you rest for the evening?
I will find a seat by somewhere warm. I'm assuming they have a fire or something.
They do have a fire, yes.
And I will purchase some water and soup or whatever they have available.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you do so, and it's not real delicious, but it fills the belly.
And I will pay double for that.
Okay. So Nico's already paid, but now you're paying more.
For food or for lodging?
Oh yeah, well I guess it was for both. The 6
What's their fee structure here?
Yeah.
6 copper for a meal and a room.
Okay. I will give them another 6 copper.
Okay. Yep. And
I'm going to take my meal and retire to bed.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay up a little bit later because I'm still kind of ascertaining information about the town. What I want to very slyly do is I want to pose the idea or put the idea in the old man's head that he is an excellent innkeeper, and that I am part owner of a tavern in Kerkonig. and I've been looking at starting up or expanding the business into a tavern, into a conjoined tavern, inn, and bistro, with a food element and stuff like that. And talking about how prosperous we've been and how business is booming now. It's really a shame to see such great talented staff, and of course your wonderful venerable self, so quiet when I think you could really make a difference to the weary travelers of Icewind Dale.
Yeah, he definitely is taken by your speech and seems to almost be fantasizing about what it might be like. You sense this kind of light in his eyes, what it might be like to have things prosperous again.
I'll also let those ideas sit in the back of his mind and come back to poke those later. But yeah, just enjoying the meal and the service, and then off to bed like Grokvar, not with Grokvar.
Yep. All right. Well, the sun does not rise as usual the next morning, but it is morning, and
Clay is
yes.
still down by the fire. He conked out in the corner with his boots up.
Okay. Yeah, no one disturbs you.
So you effectively had 2 rooms and you slept by the fire.
That's a fair assessment.
It is a bit warmer here than it would be probably up in a room, but fewer blankets, so Anyway, so the morning arrives. What do you guys do? Would you guys like to do anything here in Caer Dineval before heading out?
Are there other businesses like goods?
You probably would find like a couple sort of homes that have like a window, maybe a sign that says, a tailor or something like that here and there. But you can tell that these are just people working out of their homes. There's not much of a actual like, here's the butcher, here's the blacksmith, or anything like that going on here.
And we heard about Duragar. But really the only clues that we have about it are footprints, right? I mean, that we can't find.
Yeah, and that's you haven't seen them. It was just something that Vigo mentioned.
Okay.
That he's suspicious of.
Can we ask the innkeeper here if he's heard of any such rumors?
Yeah, absolutely. He so Rourke says, well, yes, I've heard talk around town, but we've also had travelers from Easthaven saying the same thing. It seems to be something of a pattern around here, but then again, once someone sees one, people may think they see these things everywhere, if you know what I mean.
I understand.
Do you know, with any familiarity, the residents up on the hill in the Caer?
Yes, well, the speaker's been ill for quite some time now, and we keep him and his family in our prayers, and there's nothing more we can do.
What kind of person was this speaker?
Speaker Crannock was, a firm man, but not unkind. Yes.
How long has he been your speaker?
Well, a few decades now, really. Not most of my life, but anyway, a long while. He's not quite as old as I am, but he's getting along in years.
I want to turn to the members of the party and I just say that I peered out my window last night before I turned in to go to bed and was thinking about what you told me about that place, Nikos, and something just doesn't sit right. I know they said he's just ill. I know you said he's trying to preserve hope, but if that's what he's doing, he's not doing a good job. Would you be willing to come with me if I tried to get a closer look?
Well, I don't disagree, and I think that there is definitely a lot of stuff that we can do to maybe help, but I mean, this place is already pretty run down, and we do have business in Easthaven still.
We do. We know from the what we've gathered already that there's Durgar for sure. My old brethren in Easthaven, but it sounds like they might be here as well. Perhaps they're up in that care.
How far away is Easthaven from here?
Easthaven is about 9 hours by foot, southeast of here. So if we look at the map here, there's the map of Easthaven. That's not what we want. There we go.
So arguably, if it's only 9 hours away, the Durgar spoken of by Proudmead could very easily be the same Durgar, because it's still the same territory.
Yeah, I mean it's all fairly close, and that's on foot 9 hours. There are faster ways of traveling, dog sled or, yeah.
Maybe it's time we invest in a third axe speak. Just might be the time for that.
I would like to propose, actually, that the two of you remain here and investigate the care, and I take one of the axe beaks toward Easthaven to investigate that situation.
I'd like to make a counter proposal. We shouldn't split up.
I'd like to counter your counter proposal.
Oh my goodness.
When Clay, when we work together, we're a fighting force, but we got to stay together here.
Yeah, the Owlbear
split up.
sure proved that.
Well, I couldn't have done it on my own. Well, granted, I sort of did it on my own, but you know what I'm saying. I think we really.
I feel like splitting off. I managed to get the two Owlbears as well.
That's fair. I listen. I got caught up in the action there in my mind, and I was taken back to that reverie when I crushed its skull. But listen to me here. I think we should get together as a team and use our wiles to see what's going on inside that castle.
Okay. I'm not often going to agree with Clay. Sorry, there's no but there. I'm just not often going to agree with Clay.
We're talking about a mystery that's about 30 paces away as opposed to one that's 9 hours away.
Yes, and I mean this politely, but you want Fizwick and Clay to use their wiles. Listen, I am not against this. I think Clay has a point that perhaps more can be achieved if we have them go and meet us in Easthaven. If they take the Owlbears there, they can also work towards selling them, should I say, which of course means that we don't have to track around Owlbears while dealing with whatever is happening here. If wiles are needed, then I think between you and me, we have plenty of wiles between us. And if things get a little hairy, well, at the very least, we'll be able to make it out on our own. Both of us are quite experienced travelers of, well, axe beaks at least, and we have the means of escape.
You can at least contact Fizwick if you run into trouble.
Indeed.
And yeah, Owlbears would be a good cover for why we're in Easthaven. Fizwick can, I'm sure, lead us to the appropriate places where they have people who might be interested in such things.
But I will say one extra thing. If we do decide to do this, then Clay, it is on your responsibility to ensure that you do not aggress upon Grokvar's brother until we have arrived. I'm fairly sure that there will be much to be said, and if the previous encounter with the Durgar is anything to be said, while I respect your might and your strength and Fizwick's skill and cunning, well, I would hate to arrive only to find that they have managed to get the best of you. Durgar are able to not only expand their strength, but also turn invisible as well.
I've worked alone long before you showed up to the 10 towns. I think I can handle myself just fine.
That's not what I said. I said don't go and fight them because no matter how strong you are, there are still a bunch of dwarves who can turn into giants who are also invisible.
And besides, Clay, that if you've forgotten already, that's my blood oath. I'd like to be there when I see that old cuss fall.
That is understood and respected. However, if it comes to protecting myself and Fizwick, or not,
Yeah.
I
No,
will
no, no. I
choose
look
to do what
again.
keeps us
I will
alive.
say yes, yes. Protect yourself, 100%. What I'm saying is, don't aggress. Meaning, do not go charging as soon as you find them directly towards a big mob of Durga and say, "For Icewind Ale," and start swinging your axe. That's all I ask.
All right, guys, what are we doing?
All right.
I don't know what's behind those walls. I don't really want to split up the party, to be frank. I mean,
I don't.
and,
I don't want to
it's
start
and
a
it's
fight.
right there. It's right in front of us. We're like looking.
Well,
We're basically standing at the gates, and you guys are turning around and going to a different city.
It's not my intention to pick a fight. I'm more of a recon. I have more of a recon in my mind.
Okay, well, that's what I want you to do. I mean, we don't have to. I'm not saying we have to go in your guns blazing. We don't know what's behind those doors.
No, and well, no, I'm saying travel to Easthaven. It sort of seems like all signs point to Easthaven. But
Yeah,
I
okay,
think
so
there is something. I don't disagree with you, Grokvar, or Alex, that there's something strange going on with in the neighborhood, if I may. But we could definitely cover more ground, and we do have a means of communication if either of us.
But that means my message to you will be, I'm dying.
Well,
Goodbye,
I hope
Clay.
a blade has penetrated me.
Yeah.
I would hope you wouldn't go in guns ablazing either. I mean,
The last thing you'll hear is the sound over the sending stone of Nico's cracking my skull and eating my brain.
well, then at
I've
least
got
one
better
of you
taste than
survived.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna interject as the DM and get a little bit meta, just for the sake of keeping the game moving. There is not much here.
Okay.
Just say that.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
to
can I
be
ask a
frank,
question? Is
I
this-
kind of figured that when I went to the gates and and got the no. That is the GM code for this area of the map is under construction. Please come back later. And I was like, okay,
Exactly.
and that's what I did. I just like, okay, cool. And so I know that Grokvar is very curious and he does want to help. So in my mind, as both the player and as Nikos, I don't imagine that we will be taking too much time here at all. Clay and Fizwick, however, you guys are both reconnaissance characters. You both are incredibly good at stealthing and getting information and doing that sort of thing. And I think having them go ahead just gives them the opportunity to do so. So basically, Grokvar, all we're doing is just taking a breathing moment and, in my mind, just allowing those two to do what they're best at and enjoy that, for a little bit.
Well, listen,
that's all.
I'm not going to put the value of any of the souls in this town over my own traveling party. If we're not going to split up, I just as soon go with you. I've got business in Easthaven. So let's head on over there. Let's all go there together in that case.
Very well.
Clay, if we learn later that some poor souls here were ground to dust or turned into mushrooms or anything of the sort, it's
Ale.
going to be on you.
And I will be the first to mourn their deaths and heap the guilt upon myself.
I don't know why it's on any of you. This is none of our business. We have not done anything here, but I am going to give the innkeeper the address of the Northern Lights and say, if you're ever looking at expanding, come and visit us at our fine place. And then I will go and meet Fizwick in the stable as the two clucking hens decide that they need to die for this town or fight for this town or wherever we're going.
The
I
tavern
relinquish my concern.
the tavern owner puts your business card into the fishbowl.
Ooh.
There will be a drawing at the end of the month for free boiled water
Exactly.
Nice.
and an iPod.
All right. So, are we headed to Easthaven?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before, you said they had a tailor.
Yes, they do.
Can I stop in real quickly? Just get a spool that will hold some rope. I was wanting to take some of my rope and see if I could attach it to my belt like data from Goonies?
Sure. You find
Do you
some.
also
It
do
will
you
cost
also have a
you-
punching glove under your coat that pops out?
Maybe.
It will cost you 1 silver piece. And yes, you managed to find a spool.
Do I
And are you
stop-
guys going to go ahead?
Do I have to stop by the blacksmith to get that fashioned, or can I just like rig it into the belt myself?
Yeah, you can rig it in. You can tie that in there somehow. Yeah.
He has a sweet utility belt he's working on now. He's gonna
Alright.
get some like some pockets to put oil in and like caltrops.
I love it. Yeah. And are you guys going to be bringing the owlbear cubs with you?
Absolutely.
I think that's where we have to go do owlberry things, right?
Yep. There's definitely more of a market for owlbears in Easthaven and any big city, and Fizwick also happens to know the Owlbear Society is alive and well there, or at least last he heard. Okay.
Would it also be possible for us to travel over water since it's all frozen? Would that speed up the journey at all? Just looking at the map.
It's probably not going to speed up the journey a whole lot, especially, it can get dangerous. There are still thin spots because some of it is still water.
Okay.
So the safest and probably fastest route is just going to be the road.
Okay. Let's do it.
All right. So off our party goes into the blowing snow and heading south toward Easthaven. The goal being, to investigate the Duergar threat further, knowing that there is some Duergar presence there, according to the note they found in the stronghold. And secondly, perhaps to see about what can be done with 2 baby owlbear, 2 owlbear cubs. And that is where we'll end this session.
Hey, we're not in the middle of a fight with some big beast.
Crazy. I did have to break up a fight between all of you. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't.
I was gonna say Grugvar and Clay got kind of in each other at the end there.
It was some good debate.
I was trying to work on his conscience. I know that's an issue for him. So I was trying to put the needle in.
Hey.
No, it was good. No, it was great. I think
I might be a
it's really-
barbarian, but I'm not that out of it that I can't detect sarcasm and manipulation when.
Oh, and you know what? Nikos is all about the money. It's like, I want those owlbears in Easthaven and money in my wallet right now. So yeah, no, it was good. It was nice to be able to have that little thing, because the thing is not all parties need to get along and be like, we're gonna hold hands and go on this epic adventure and all this sort of stuff. So I love the fact that and I think, Nate, we when we first created these characters, we were all like, we're playing with a group of what is effectively monsters, working together. So I love the fact that everyone's kind of like Fizwick's kind of got his he like prefers the company of animals and owlbears to the rest of us. And
I prefer no one's company.
And yeah, Clay just walking around. It's nice to see that kind of dynamic, kind of adjacent to like a typical hero adventuring party.
And I will say that if Clay is antsy enough to help people and to just be doing something, that to always prove to always be useful or whatever, that he will take the most direct route to solve a problem, not necessarily barge in, but like I said, it seemed like all roads were pointing to Easthaven, so he was ready to just go to Easthaven.
I didn't even know what was going on after I got in the stables. I didn't. Some guy up on a hill, and then we weren't going on the hill, and then
you got some food.
Yeah.
So I'll just tell you guys, speaking from a bit of a meta perspective here, because it won't really affect the game from here on out. I'll just tell you, like, the chapter 1 is a sandbox, and now that you guys have done like 5 quests, basically, like, you can still do more quests around here, but I am choosing to kind of put up some castle walls, so to speak, to get us into chapter 2. so that any town you stop in, like, hey, there's more quests there, but I'm trying to I guess discourage that. So sorry. If
You know,
that's
any
putting
video
up
game where
walls,
when
but-
you make a save file and it shows you the percentage you've completed of the game.
Oh,
Oh man,
Yes.
we're gonna be at like.
That's how I am.
56%.
If I see it's at like 85%, and I'm like, I'm pretty much done with this area. I must have missed something. That's the mode I was in.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally.
Now, there might be a couple of gold coins rattle around somewhere that I could grab,
under this
or a
rock.
weird, or some kind of weird wand or something.
Yeah, and as written, I think there's like a lot more mystery and things to kind of like into Caer Dineval. But I was trying to put the kibosh on that, but apparently I didn't do so well enough.
No,
Look, I mean, I got the message. I did, like, that's why like when I went up and they were like, you can't come in. I'm like, why not? He's ill. Is there someone else I can talk to? Yeah.
well, the
Can I come
Duergar
in?
Fortress.
No, he's ill.
The
Okay,
Duergar
well, I guess
Fortress
he's
won't
ill.
be. The Duergar Fortress won't be inviting to us either. But we're being meta enough to know to go there. That's the difference.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
man,
but
what
this is
would
supposed
you
to be
have
a
done if
friendly
Nikos
place.
just killed the guards and then just kicked?
I
in
wasn't
the
going to
door?
kill the guards. I was going to hoist somebody up through a window or something because I wanted to look in there and see if there was a cool rod of fire.
And you just see a very
There you go.
sick seeker taking a bath
Why is
But
he
you know what,
taking a bath?
because you're peeking in his window, and that's what
Very
you
weird.
deserve.
to get all the to steam out the ailments.
Yeah,
Gross.
he's sitting
With
in
all
a
the- with all
bath
those,
of
like,
leeches.
With like those branches that they have on those Russian steam baths, that they just beat him on the back with.
Exactly.
He's just going, ow, ow, ow.
So
Oh.
vivid.
Why?
Well, hey, I want to thank you guys so much for being awesome players. By the way, I'm gonna say take a point of inspiration for the way you guys handled the owlbear situation. It was so much more interesting than, hey, there's an owlbear, let's fight. And yes, it took forever, but like that's worth it to me. Like, you guys have 2 owlbear cubs. This is awesome. And just the fun along the way was and just the creativity of Nikos's plan and and Fizwick really like saying, I'm gonna tame this thing, and yeah, it was cool. So everyone
Fizwick was going to give his
life.
life to get those owlbears.
Yeah.
he
And
waited
so
for
it-
one more hit would have been done.
Well, I was gonna say it's always been Nikos's intention to find out the cost of the owlbears, and see what the cost weighs versus selling it, and if the maths works out well, to actually give Fizwick one of the owlbear cubs, just to have.
That's awesome. Would we actually be able to use it in any way, or would it just be aesthetic? Or would
I think that, like I said last session, I think that an owlbear cub, like, yeah, I think you can. I think it would be usable. I don't think it's going to be like, man, this thing is kicking butt in combat for us or anything like that. But I would see that it's young and impressionable enough that I think there's a chance there.
I
for
say
sure.
we
It might
make
be a
it
good
the
mount.
mascot. I love the idea, and I say we make it the official mascot. Fizwick would love to ride that. Maybe we should let everybody name it or something like that. Come up
Yeah,
with
hey.
Oh, yeah,
if you
group
have
name.
names for owlbears, leave those in the comments. We will definitely consider them. And
How we
and,
name the dog.
yeah.
yeah, the fan art from McKinley. Thanks so much for that. That's really cool. And feel free to send any of that stuff, post in the Discord server, or you can email me. That's in the video description too. But we should probably sign off here. And yeah, I want to thank these awesome players for joining me once again. I look forward to this every 2 weeks so much. And thank you all so much for watching us and interacting in the chat with us, and for all the fun along the way. Yeah, make sure you check out Dark Sea Workshop, link in the video description. Make sure you check out Dead Aussie Gamer, links in the video description. And thank you so much to our sponsor, Hero Forge. Oh, last thing, patrons, don't forget to get access to weekly live map drawing streams and campaign diaries, where I kind of reflect on the process of being a dungeon master in this campaign and talk about where we've been, where we're going, and things like that. So you can check that out on patreon.com/WASD20. Anything else you guys want to say?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
watching.
Oh, there's GaryCon coming up at the end of March, and people are starting to whisper and wonder what's happening with that. I'll be doing some stuff at GaryCon if people are doing stuff, because it's a virtual con this year, so tickets are out and people are starting to buy that. Are you going, Nate? Are you doing
I
Gary
don't
Con
know
stuff?
if I am actually. I have been to Gary Con before. I love it. I just feel kind of swamped. So
Fair enough.
We'll see.
Oh yeah, and if anybody ever needs any spare players, I'd like to play more, and it's really hard to find places to play. So hit me up on Facebook or wherever. Or
Yeah.
I want to start DMing. I can't believe what these guys do. It's so hard. Like I don't even know if I'd ever be able to do that. It's insane. So thanks for the time,
Insane,
man.
but
Yeah.
fun.
You definitely got that skill in making good sounds and voices.
Yeah, but
That's got to be somewhere to start from.
and me and Nate talked about my intelligence is real low and my wisdom is high. So I don't know if it's work.
I wouldn't. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk. About it. Yeah.
Bye,
The
y'all.
other way. It's the other way around.
Don't sell yourself short. But yeah. Anyway, thanks again, everybody. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks, which is what's the 8th of March.
Oh man,
The 8th of
spring
March.
is coming.
Yep. All right. Bye, everyone. I gotta find the stop button. Awkward pause until I do so.
Wave.
Okay.